$1,000 and $1,100 in sports cards.
Wow, congratulations, JB.
You're being sarcastic? Are we live?
All right. Well, we're live.
Why did you tell me?
Thank you so much, JB, for that enticing intro.
God damn it.
All right. Well,
I need to scan some more cards.
Okay.
You know what you can get me for Christmas?
Cards?
Yeah, dude. Get me a red Optic Fanatics exclusive mega box. It's only like $250.
Okay. I'll do that. I'll get that for you.
Yeah.
No problem.
Hopefully there's an auto in there.
Chump change.
Chump change.
Chump change. And do you know what we also have in the studio? Julio.
Julu.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Nice to be back. Nice to be back.
Yeah, how awesome. Julio's already like a regular already.
Yeah, I am. Friend of the show.
Is he?
Pretty
Friend
much.
of the
Is
show.
he? Friend of the show.
I need to know right now.
For better or
if
for
he is
worse.
or isn't legally.
Well, he is technically. No, he is. Whatever.
Technically or not.
Okay. All right. Well, either way, we have a bunch of this time we actually have stuff that we're going to talk about. So I guess we can actually get started.
Did you get
Let's
videos?
just get right into it.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of busy at work, so I message you in the middle of work. You know,
Don't worry, JB. I got you.
Yes.
All right. I
There was a couple stuff like I messaged him earlier. It was just like maybe like one thing. I don't know.
how was work today, JB?
It was chill. Today's chill. It was Friday.
It's chill.
Friday's always chill.
That's good.
You know, payday.
Oh yeah.
It happens.
All right. Julio, how was work?
I had a thing happen where someone thought I was like a whole embroidery shop,
Okay.
and
We should.
they had ordered something from me,
Yeah.
Okay.
and I did the design.
Right.
I turn it over. I do a graphic design for those that don't know. And so I turned the design over, and it turns out that no, they wanted me to like print it out too, like on a cap or on a sweater or whatever.
Okay.
I don't do that.
Yeah.
And I felt a little bit like, in the 40-Year-Old Virgin when they have the eBay store, but you can't buy anything at the store.
Yeah.
You have to buy it off of eBay. It's like this extra step.
Yeah.
I felt like that today.
That's a bummer, dude. How did they take? Oh, was it similar to where they just didn't
Yeah, were they
understand?
mad?
They might have been mad. I never presented myself as the way that I was a print shop of any kind.
What would you need to do that?
Equipment, I'm sure.
What kind of
some
machine?
You need a lot to do
like
that.
a
It's
lot.
not just
Yeah,
something
it's not
you
just
can.
a casual.
What kind of printing? Like on a T-shirt, like on a hat,
I
like
think this was a specific, like they wanted it on a sweater.
on a sweater.
Yeah,
So you would
so
need like
it'd-
a screen printing.
Some sort of iron on or sublimination.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I was like, oh yeah, I just do the picture. I make you
start
happy
a-
with the picture, and then everything else is on you. And I feel that was a bit of a letdown, but I didn't know it was coming. You know what I mean?
And also, that's part of owning a business, to where it's just like
People expect you to do
it's
do
just-
it all,
it's just
dude.
you-
Like
you find-
nowadays, like.
Yeah.
you find yourself in odd situations you didn't think you'd be.
And another thing is though, you kind of should be doing it all.
It's a whole other
say
set
that.
of
No, I
of
can't say
expenses.
that.
It's a totally different like
Okay,
service. that you're
well, he
providing.
can like invest in himself to be able to be like, oh, you know what, I can actually do this also,
Like-
and then you charge X amount of dollars. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like it would
right.
just you would incorporate it into your business because you already have a
Look,
business
I don't
in
want-
your name
I don't want to get
Yeah.
too into it
that you
because
can write.
I don't want to get too into it because
You can write off, Julio.
because we already have a lot planned.
Yeah.
But like that's like going to the card shop and being like, "Well, you don't make cards." You know what I mean? Like, you don't like,
You don't yourself manufacture these cards?
No, but it would just be
That is what
kinda-
you're asking, kind of though.
Okay, I guess
thank you,
so.
Mickey. That's a good.
damn it.
I guess.
Well, thank
It'd
you,
be kind of fancy though.
thank you, JB, for being
Like
so
make your own
understanding.
shirts, you know.
You're just
like,
playing devil's advocate, and I
I kinda
appreciate
am,
that.
you
Yeah,
know,
no,
like
thank
I'm-
you, thank you. I appreciate
You know,
it.
kind of pushing you a little bit, you know.
Maybe in time.
Maybe we can make it happen over time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all agree it would be better if you did offer.
I'm not gonna lie, like my dad's looking at an embroidery machine, like a really expensive.
See, so then I won't need to do that because I'll have
I'm sorry, continue.
I'll have a guy. I connect.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like we get into that.
My thing is like I don't want to be slowed down with the minutia of taking these
I'll tell you what, dude.
orders. Like, oh, I need an order for this or I need an order for that, and it's a lot of headache. It would throw me off my groove designing.
It would be worth it if you put the right price tag. Would it not?
I don't think anybody would be willing to pay that price, and I don't feel like charging it.
You never know. You never know.
If this was a situation where I could employ someone to just strictly do that, and I can keep designing, and they can just be the one in charge of the printing and all that shipping and handling, hey, we got ourselves,
Maybe
got ourselves a stew going.
But you're thinking like, okay, if it gets that like crazy, like
Yeah, I don't want to slow myself down with it. Like literally, can't be bothered. Can't
you
be
just
bothered.
don't want to be bothered.
Not at all. By the way, I think Mickey is getting his lights done up. The decorations
For Christmas?
Yeah, so I think that's what that was. But
Who else is getting their lights done? He should have given me the mouse. It's too far.
yeah, but post in the chat your Christmas cheer. It's the Christmas time of
Christmas
year.
lights. I wish,
Yeah.
man, we should do. Yeah.
We should have like some low key Mariah Carey playing in the background.
You think?
We might get copyrighted for it, but it would be nice.
Yeah, it would get taken down, dude.
It would be nice.
Why don't you just sing it?
I am in my head. It's playing. I can hear it. I like that scene, Shawshank Redemption. Remember that movie
Yeah.
where he's in the prison and he gets hold of the.
The record.
I don't know how he gets the record player, but I know that the warden lets
office.
him in the office. Yeah,
Because he went to the bathroom.
there it is. Okay, cool. And he locks himself in.
And then he locks the bathroom, and then
Was it Ave Maria? What is
he
what is he
locks.
playing?
It was it was an Italian
Yeah.
song because it was a woman. It was
Yeah,
a
I think it
woman
was Ave
singing.
Maria. I don't know. I could be wrong, but great moment in
There's two
cinema.
women
I really
singing.
enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because Morgan Freeman's like, I never understood what those two Italian ladies were saying, but it was beautiful.
That's not bad. That's not bad, Morgan Freeman.
Right?
I'll take it. I was off the
You'll
cuff.
take it?
I take
It was
it.
off the
Put it in my
cuff,
pocket all the way to the bank. Yes,
Thank you.
sir.
I appreciate that.
I wonder what he's interested in talking about today.
Who?
I wonder what
You want me to give you a little hint? Or-
Yeah. Give me a little.
Well,
little
actually,
taste.
I don't even know. Honestly,
I want to steal his thunder, dude. I want him to come back in here and have something to say, and we already did it.
Honestly, like no, because like I don't know if it's like even like because what I had messaged earlier was it was honestly dealing with the whole FIFA thing, like how it's all in Qatar.
Oh, okay.
I was reading a poster in the morning, right when I woke up, and it was at first I was like it was in the morning, right, and like it was like still early, so I kind of had to read it, and then I reread it, and then now I was like, oh, that's when it finally clicked. But apparently, people are turning away Israeli reporters, asking them about the cup,
Sure.
and they're making it seem like they're being like attacked. So they put them like on a level when like
Of persecution.
yeah, like they were like saying all this stuff, and then like there was like a little video too, of, like, and it's like a Japanese fan, and the reporter's like, "Oh yeah, we're here with Israel," and then she's like, just puts her hand up, and he's like, "Oh, you don't like us?" And then just like cuts off. Yeah, like so
I've seen a couple of them, but in the ones I've seen, they're some sort of Middle Eastern, and the Always Sunny in no, it's the Curb Your Enthusiasm music starts playing.
yeah.
Boom, 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 ba-da-da-dum, ba-boom, ba-dum, ba-boom.
And then they're just like walking around.
Yeah, so I've seen a couple of those come out. Hey, look, there he is, man of the hour.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean.
But yeah, apparently, like it's like it's like a travel, like a beware. Like if you're going to Qatar, beware because
Right.
apparently
Beware that the most intolerant nation in the
exactly
world
like
is intolerant.
exactly like
Oh,
yeah
jeez.
like it was what the heck.
Shout out to Saeed.
Shout out to you.
Yeah, thank you so much for commenting. Yeah, anybody who's watching, comment below.
We had a lot more followers before, and now they're gone.
Oh my god! All right, so the first thing that we're going to talk about is the Okay, so previously we talked about the FTX crash that there was, and to be honest, I still because I'm so like out of that world, I don't really understand because they're doing
did you like
some
my
type
bottle explanation? You thought?
they were doing some type of like nuanced type of like company model. I don't know.
Okay.
And so this was the best video that like went towards my level of like understand. And from what I've heard, everything that was going on, it simplified it in a way. I don't. Okay, let's go. All right, let me just make sure I have that turned. Okay, there you go. And here we go.
TLDR, crypto CEO Sam Bankman-Fried's company FTX imploded. Here's why. The bad news started when CoinDesk released a report that basically was like, SBF's crypto trading firm Alameda Research and his trading platform FTX may be more intermingled than they should be. Sus. A few days later, the CEO of Binance, FTX's #1 competitor, decides to sell $530 million worth of FTT, a coin FTX invented. And when users saw this, they panicked and also sold. About $6 billion in withdrawals happened over 72 hours, which FTX couldn't fulfill. But all seemed okay when FTX announced that Binance was going to buy them, effectively bailing them out. But after a little research, Binance said, FTX is a lemon, and for that reason, we're out. No bailout meant FTX had to file for bankruptcy, and SBF resigned as CEO and lost 94% of his net worth. FTX's investors looked like fools, but the real victims are the customers that likely won't get their money back. A lot of you wanted a breakdown of the FTX drama.
All right, there you go. That's pretty much it. All right. So from like, dude, I've heard this explanation like a bunch of times, and I'm still like trying to interpret how it all worked. From my little tiny brain's understanding, what happened was it was like just like any other coin, like it's built off of like having a bunch of people, invested in it. And what happened was he didn't have enough money to actually pay those people because he was putting that money into another company that he had. So if everyone wanted to sell their stuff, he didn't have the money to pay them back. Yeah. And so that's what he's getting in trouble for, putting his money into other companies that he owned, Alameda Research. And so Binance was after FTX. And so what they did was that guy invested a bunch into their coin, FTX. And he may have known, he may have not, I don't know too much about it, but he may have known that they weren't able to pay their customers back. So he took out all of his funds from FTX to get other people to do the same, like freak out. And because he tweeted about it, I'm taking all my money out of FTX, millions of dollars. And so people got paranoid and they all started taking their money out, and he didn't have enough to cover everyone. So they stopped letting people sell their FTX. And through that, they learned that he was putting funds into Alameda Research or whatever. And so that's what he's in trouble for. And so that was then. Now, just this week, he could go to jail. And so like the last thing he should be doing is speaking out in public, but he's doing interviews. And so this is one interview he did through Good Morning America. Let me bring it up.
This is why you don't mess with people's money. Don't mess with the feds'
Exactly.
money.
Like, Jesus Christ. This is the first rule.
Don't mess with the money.
Why?
Let's see what that's in.
For money.
And it's just like if you're that
For more money.
if you're like gonna
In
be
business,
if
more
you know
business.
You remember that billboard?
I remember you.
Oh man! So hold on, real quick.
Wait, no.
I need to say this. All right, so on the way to college every year.
All right, so
Oh my god! Why am I even here?
oh my gosh. All right, go ahead.
Nah, it's over.
All right. But really, oh my God, are you freaking kidding me? All right, hold on. Let me get this. See why the heck isn't it playing? All right, that should be it. All right. Are you freaking kidding me? All right, sorry, I'm trying to play this damn video. Why isn't it
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, I saved these links and they're not working. All right, hold on. But that's why, like, if the business that he's getting into, it's so it's so nuanced that I like, honestly, I really did have a hard time like understanding, because they were borrowing against their I don't know, they would buy out companies and then borrow against it. But what happened was Binance was supposed to, the same people that brought them down were supposed to buy them out. And I don't know if that was some type of actual business decision that Binance was going to do. But when they looked into it, they saw like, okay, something real screwy is going on. So we're not going to buy it at all. And that's why it's completely crashing. All right, let me bring it back up. Oh, here we go. Is it gone? Oh, whoops.
In that penthouse that he said, and used to work with his former colleagues at FTX, now alone with his parents. And Robin, this was really something, a wild interview, almost 2 hours.
And, let whatever, regulatory and legal processes are happening play out as they will.
I do want to move on, but just finally on this. This is really a yes or no question.
Yep.
Carolyn Ellison says you knew that FTX funds were being funneled to Alameda. Did you know that?
I knew that there is an open margin position there and that involved.
I know, but that's not what I'm
dollar.
asking. If she's in court and you're in court and she's under oath and you're under oath and you're asked, did you know that these funds were being funneled to Alameda, what is your answer?
I did not know that there is any improper use of customer funds.
You also took out a $1 billion loan. What was that for?
That was generally for reinvesting in the company. That was not for, consumption. To my knowledge, there is, margin extended where there is borrow lending.
If Alameda is borrowing the money that belongs to FTX depositors, that's a bright red line, isn't it?
There are a lot of cases where that's actually explicitly part of the programs and that are happening.
Not
and
here.
people are
Here it
opting.
says that the digital assets may not be loaned to FTX trading. They can't be loaned out.
So awkward.
I'm just waiting for the red laser.
There existed a borrow lending facility
Come on.
on
It's
FTX.
wild that his people wouldn't
and I think that's
field some
probably
questions
covered.
like this
I don't
fast
remember exactly where, but
before
somewhere else in the
sending him to
terms
the
of service.
But they'd have to approve of that. They're saying they didn't approve of it here. They're saying you approved of it.
If you rewind to the beginning of FTX, where some customers were I think in line with sort of existing relationships that they've had, at least in some cases, wiring money straight to Alameda Research in order to trade on FTX.
So you do know, and you did know, that FTX deposits were being funneled to Alameda.
So I was vaguely aware that that was how some wires were being sent in the first place.
Didn't that set off alarm bells in your head?
So there are a lot of people who are involved in that process. And look, I did a pretty incomplete job at that. I spent a lot less time looking at assets and looking at balances and positions because that's not where revenue came from. And so I wasn't seeing it as a core business driver. Obviously, it was a core risk. And that was a huge mistake of mine to not think more about that.
That you said one of your great talents in a podcast was managing risk.
That's right. And
well, it's obviously wrong.
Well,
what the hell?
I think that there is something maybe even deeper wrong there, which was I wasn't even trying. Like, I wasn't spending any time or effort trying to manage risk on FTX. And that obviously
that's a
that's
stunning
a mistake.
admission.
What?
That's a pretty stunning admission.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, what happened, and like
that sucks, dude.
What?
That sucks, dude. That really sucks.
Dude, this guy just here's the sword.
He obviously clearly just got in over his head. It sounds like, you know.
I think so.
I think it just the rocket ship took off too fast. I think that's what it is, you know.
Like a Wolf of Wall Street. No,
Yeah,
not like
yeah. I mean, in a similar vein, yeah.
Because well, he obviously did something illegal. The legal thing was moving people's money where it shouldn't be.
Right.
You know.
I think it was more like he said that people would put money into his company to buy FTX, right? So it's almost like kind of like Robin Hood.
In reverse, that you were not allowed to trade quantities of coin in exchange for funding of other corporate entities like Alameda, like the one that he had started. And he was not that he was. That's what he kept pestering him.
Right.
Stephanopoulos is like, it's not that it happened. It's did you know it happened? If it happened and he had no idea,
Yeah.
then he's cool.
He's innocent.
Yeah, in a legal sense, like it's a better case. I'm assuming. I'm not a lawyer. But if he knew it happened,
Yeah.
and now somebody is asking him and he's already perjuring himself, well, this is also going to be evidence on a court trial. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
That's why, like, Soteropoulos, like, made it, like, teed it up for him. Like, if you were in court and you're on the stand and she's saying one thing, and
I
you're
was
saying,
like, can he ask that?
yeah. I mean, a reporter can ask anything he wants.
Right.
Yeah. Well, he could definitely ask that, but that should just put more like brainwaves in his head. Like, I shouldn't be doing this. Like, why am I like possibly incriminating myself?
He said no.
Right.
Everything that he's going to say on the record is
I'm on
going
his side
to
now.
put him at risk.
Yeah. He put himself at like deep risk.
There's nothing good about him coming out, but like, man, when
I'm still trying to like. I'm like, I'm trying to see how it works now.
That's why. So when this first came out, I was so like uninterested because of how complicated
My brain hurts.
how complicated their company was structured and the way that they went about things. I really think that it's as far as the controversy, that it's as simple as like he put funds where it shouldn't have been. So
Right.
But I don't know anything about it. But when we first talked about it, it wasn't a big deal. But now I've just become like really fascinated about it. Just hearing about.
You went in the wormhole. You fell down.
I went in the wormhole, and to where they're living, he's living in the Bahamas
back.
with like 12 other people. And so everything that he's doing, I do believe that there's a genuine part to it that, really he's just trying his best to like kill this startup. But everything like looks incriminating on the other side to where, he was in the Bahamas to escape regulation. You know what I mean? And then
Right.
he was living in a room with 12 other people. They're all doing orgies or like, they were all playing League of Legends and stuff. And so,
I mean, the Paul
Wait,
brothers
what?
do that too for that matter.
Orgy League of Legends? That sounds cool.
that does sound
Some people have all the luck, JB.
Right? Or the money?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both. A little bit of both can't hurt.
And something that he did say, that he said that kind of like I've been waiting for somebody to just cut through all the BS and like finally say it, is he's criticized for donating to a lot of Democratic candidates.
Yeah.
But he was saying that he did an interview and he said that he donated money to Republican candidates as well. He just didn't, I guess, consider like dark money. He didn't like make it pub, or
Sure.
he did it, I guess, I don't know.
Is
anonymously.
that dark money because you don't want recognition for what you're doing?
He did. I don't know technically how, but whatever. It was considered dark money. It like nobody knew that he
Sure.
donated that amount to Republican candidates, and it was just, and why? Because he understood that there was a bias against, like if you donate towards Democrats, that's good. You're helping the cause. If you're
Right.
donating towards Republicans,
You're evil.
Like you're evil. Yeah, you're like you're part of that system. You're a bigot. But really, he just wanted to buy politicians. He was trying to buy power.
Right.
Yeah, but one of them looks good on the outside, and the other one looks bad on the. And I've just been waiting for all of these like rich people to cut through the BS. We all know the way that the world, like the popular world, thinks. Why can't we just say it out loud? Why can't all of these entrepreneurs and all these very rich and powerful people say like, hey, do you know what? Like, it's all the same. Like we know there's a
Why
bias
would
out
they?
I think it's what it is I don't know that it's worth the hassle that it's going to take. That if they
Why
don't
would
have
they?
to,
Yeah.
like given the
It would
choice,
cost more money.
that I don't have to, so long as I play by the rules and it's not hurting my bottom line,
Exactly.
then okay.
I agree 100%. I just wish somebody out there had more balls. You know what I mean? Like had more.
Maybe one day somebody will.
Not everyone can be Elon Musk, bro.
That's why I
Buying
feel.
Twitter up.
That's
Not
why I feel
everyone
like
can do
We
it.
will be the next,
Like Elon
What are we
Musk
gonna buy?
is such a great example to where he was loved not that long ago, but he does
He
things.
stayed around too long. He's the villain.
He just started like
Do you either like live long enough to see yourself become the hero, or long enough to see yourself become the villain?
he just started actually trying to communicate what he believed was the truth. And I feel like any celebrity, if they communicated what they actually believed was the truth was, they would be convicted just as well. They don't need to have, like, they don't need to even be right leaning. They just need one bad idea or one right leaning idea.
And then everything,
you know?
it's like a domino effect. Like,
Well, what's his name? Jordan Peterson has a whole bit on that, right? Where the left, it's always like this ever receding line of things that are, or encroaching line of things that are not okay.
right.
You know, and then we can agree on something, but then like the line in the sand gets pushed that one little bit further.
Yeah.
And now if you're not okay with that, you're not okay.
Yeah.
And the thing is, there's never gonna be a point by that logic that something won't become not okay for almost whatever reason. I mean, sometimes for entirely justifiable reasons, but also for the other, like, this is superfluous. This is not necessary. I've seen it work both ways in my time. So
One really good thing to come out of this that I wish there was more of, I want more of her, is Caroline Ellison. Caroline Ellison.
You're in love.
who's this?
No. I'm not saying this like I think she's attractive, or if anything, you could say she's clearly like incredibly nerdy. But no, dude, I don't know. I think
like you like what she's
she's fascinating.
saying,
dude.
what she stands for.
No, not at all. I'm just saying I think she's fascinating. You'll see. Hold on.
Fascinating.
Not her herself, but this is a very fun, fascinating part of the story.
Caroline Ellison penned graphic blog posts about polyamory and masochism before the implosion of her FTX-linked cryptocurrency hedge fund.
Now this is good stuff.
Ellison, who dated FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried, wrote candidly about her foray into poly on her now-deleted Tumblr account back in February 2020, according to the Daily Mail.
Nice.
The post, along with a series of other sexualized entries, was unearthed by the tabloid just days after CoinDesk claimed Ellison, 28, and Bankman-Fried, 30, were part of a 10-person cabal of roommates that managed operations for FTX and Alameda from a luxury penthouse in the Bahamas. CoinDesk claimed the group are, or used to be, in romantic relationships with each other. When I first started my foray into poly, I thought of it as a radical break from my trad past, Ellison allegedly wrote in the Tumblr entry. But TBH, I've come to decide the only acceptable style of poly is best characterized as something like Imperial Chinese harem. The Stanford grad continued, none of this non-hierarchical bull's tea. Everyone should have a ranking of their partners, people should know where they fall on the ranking, and there should be vicious power struggles for the higher ranks. It's unclear whether Ellison was in a polyamorous relationship with Bankman-Fried. The crypto bro recently confirmed that they had broken up after an unspecified period of dating. The Post has attempted to contact Bankman-Fried for comment. Attempts to reach Ellison have proven unsuccessful. Meanwhile, on her Tumblr, Ellison also purportedly penned several other entries about her sexual desires. I'm less hedonistic and more masochistic. I get a lot of pleasure from doing things that are hard, unpleasant, physically taxing, or emotionally painful, the kinky CEO allegedly wrote in one post. In a separate entry, she is said to have declared that growing up in the 21st century was not a good time for sex, quipping, "Born too late to have 10 kids, born too soon to have 4-dimensional upload orgies." And in another post, enumerating things she thinks are cute for men to do, she listed sufficient strength to overpower you and controlling most major world governments. The Tumblr account also allegedly featured entries where Ellison opined on financial matters. I didn't get into this as a crypto true believer. It's mostly scams and memes when you get down to it, the Daily Mail quotes her as saying in one post. Of the 2008 financial collapse, she purportedly stated, "I can't think of anyone involved who makes me go, yes, what that person did should be illegal and..."
All right. That's enough of that. That's crazy, right? That's fascinating. The head of Alameda Research is some dorky girl who likes BDSM.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. I'll be back.
It is. She is
Was
a bit
there
of a
your
character
lights?
for sure. She's a character. So who wears the pants in that relationship then? You think she's top dog then?
idea.
Is she the one viciously struggling
I don't think
for the
anybody-
top spot?
I don't think anybody wears pants. I know, right? Like she was talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
herself.
Nobody wears pants, so it's not an issue.
She was the one. She was actually like talking about her, like self-reflecting.
I think so. So he was actively looking for someone to acquire FTX, right?
Just to bail him out.
Right, right. Because he knew it was coming.
Yeah.
He just didn't know how fast it was going to hit, right? Because then it gets out that somebody's looking for a buyer.
You're in a penthouse in the Bahamas.
They try to sweeten up with Binance just to see if Big Brother can just swallow them
they'll
up,
make a
get a
movie,
nice like
dude?
payout.
They have to make a movie out of this. You should make a script.
Let's make a screenplay.
You start a startup, and then like you start making a crypto, and then you start like making a company, and then you just like this is like a bunch of friends,
just to justify the cabal.
right? And then you go like, okay,
That's because he was saying, he's like, I wasn't even worried about risk management. That wasn't even his concern, bro.
Somebody
It was this little
else's risk
dorky chick with the
management
glasses.
was risk management.
He was thinking with the wrong head, and that's usually what gets guys in trouble.
That'd be a good movie, like, and then he'd just be in the Bahamas, and then one day it's just like, dude, it's fucked.
Like the realization, like was it like mid orgy? He just goes out and just like, oh, I need a cigarette, and you
It's
just
like-
see him like just
Yeah, it's like 7 in the morning.
like sad Brad Pitt just on the balcony, just like knowing that this is, and then everyone's just just shitting the
Still, like,
stick behind him,
When do we tell him? And then it's
just
like,
yanking and banking over there. God.
they're like, no, what's our next move? And then they're like, we can try to find somebody.
Who's got the Twitter fingers? Because it was just a series of bad tweets that's led to this point. If you think about it, jeez. And I really can't, for the life of me. I mean, I
It'd be a
guess
good movie, dude. Brad
it was like
Pitt,
a
right?
goodwill tour. Like, why would you go in front of a goddamn war correspondent with unprepared statements, just thinking like, oh, this is fine.
Stupid.
We're just gonna have a nice little
That's what I'm
chit
saying.
chat,
No,
nice little chin wag.
Behind the reporter, you didn't see it, dude. Behind the reporter,
No, what
was
was
a dude with the gun.
it? Just pointing right at. Oh man, no.
Just in case, like he says he's like, you're saying stupid shit, but he hasn't said the wrong thing.
George
yet.
wouldn't need to do that. He's been through tough shit. I remember after 9/11, that guy was out in Iraq, just like rolling with the homies.
Yeah. So he had a guy with guns there too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So it's probably the same guy, if anything. He's like one protector, one Jason Statham-esque, operator.
You just hear it. So you hear him put the silencer on too. Like he just like.
Sorry. All right, I'm back.
Did you
What's
get
up?
your lights done?
No, a bunch of dude. I could do anything, and some will like screw everything up.
Dang.
I don't know. There's some issues. I
Like
don't
you
know.
should have done it yourself, kind of thing.
No, dude, that's what happened. It's a long story. I don't even want to talk about it, to be honest.
Let's not talk about it.
You want to do it right now?
What?
You want to go take care of your lights right now?
No, that's not the problem. I don't. That's what I'm saying. Like,
What did Derek have to say?
I don't even want to open up that kind of worms. It has nothing to do with the it's everything. Whatever. Okay, I'll tell you.
What does your cap say?
He said, "What does your cap
Oh,
say?"
it says
Butler
Austin,
Park.
Yeah, Austin, Texas. Butler
Pitch and putt.
Are you happy with that, Derek?
It's a little
I miss my
9-hole.
Hooter buddy. Who's
Oh
that?
my gosh.
Check it out. If you're in Austin, check it out. It's a really nice spot.
All right.
You can drink while you play, but it's BYOB.
Don't they like serve burgers and shit there?
Yeah,
too?
no. Now it's way different. They updated. It was a piece of shit when we used to live there. Now it's fucking amazing
They
how much
serve
funding
food
has gone
there
into it.
and
Can
hot
you bring
dogs.
the mic up to
like-
your?
No, yeah. Well, no, because it actually drops.
Or could you take out the mic and hold it?
Really?
Well, do you want it like not sound good or?
He
No,
sounds
I don't
alright.
care how I sound.
No, it doesn't. Julio, pick the mic up to your
It
face.
will drop way. Like I don't you remember I pissed you off trying to raise it up. You're like, you don't hear that?
Yeah, man.
Wait, don't you know that this is stripped?
Julio,
You stripped the gear. There's nothing I can do. It's gonna keep falling.
He sounds okay. dude.
Julio, pick up the mic. I'm telling you, you can. I hear it back whenever we do the live stream. If it's at just a little bit, it sounds fine on the board, but what we're hearing on the board isn't what's coming out in the stream.
It's confusing. Yeah.
That's why, like, you just make sure you're this close. If you're this close, there won't be any problems. But if it's a little bit further, it might sound like it sounds fine. But I guarantee you, when you hear it on the stream,
I'll just keep a resting hand.
yeah, whatever you have to do, it's fine. Just
This is my life now.
oh my god, that's how it is. That's, you know,
This is the type of equipment Mickey's bringing us in with.
shut up, Derek. I gave you a mic. You're the one not speaking into it.
Dang, Mickey is a jerk to you.
He is, dude.
That's why
like-
everybody's a jerk to him. It's
Oh
okay.
my god.
Honestly,
Screw
Mickey
all
doesn't
of you.
have
He's
too
a
many
jerk.
friends, and this is kind of the shit why.
That's it.
Just
I'm,
to be-
I'm meeting you, Julio. Oh wait. Oh, that was it. How dare you?
Sorry, we're good.
You too, JB. You know you.
Give me a drink.
All right, never mind. Okay, I don't know. I didn't even see it. Did you guys like get into that or what at all?
What's that? No, yeah, we were talking about it because we even talked about writing a script.
Yeah, we got that far into
What's
it.
in the script?
We're gonna get Brad Pitt.
It's mostly about the orgies. We're not really gonna focus
in the
on the money.
Bahamas. Yeah.
It's gonna hurt too many people's brains.
That's the least entertaining thing about the whole thing is
Yeah.
the actual like.
The millions of dollars
Yeah.
in value that was.
No, but like that's the thing. Like, it's gonna be this guy. He's gonna be like, he's gonna have this idea. He's gonna start a company, and then he's gonna have like this chick, right? And she's gonna be like all like wild and stuff, and be like, you know what? Like, I have this idea. They're all going to school for computer engineering,
Right.
you know, like, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, this thing can. Like,
I want to get
obviously
Frodo
go.
to play this guy.
Right.
Yeah. Can we do that?
Who do we get to play the girl?
Frodo, you mean
Elijah.
Yeah, Elijah Wood.
Elijah
Yeah.
Wood. Yeah.
Whole summer, for me, a lot of it was just
We'll just
about
get her
sort
to
of,
play her.
Or a turtle.
Yeah, readjusting my expectations and being open to whatever happened. I think like every week or so, something like weirder than the previous week would happen. And I was like, okay, I just like mentally, adjusted myself to, okay, we're farming comp. And then it's like, oh, now we're farming these things that are like foods. And then now we're farming these like whatever weird like meta food things. I don't know. Whole summer, for me, a lot of it was just about sort of,
I think this one will come. I think this is like the part 2 of it.
yeah, I feel like I did manage to get away from my initial skepticism and end up embracing the mindset of like, great, gonna like go out and look for like whatever like the weirdest, dumbest thing people are talking about today. And like, that's going to be the thing I'm working on today.
All right.
I just love that diddly.
But that's the whole.
You are in love with
Pretty
her.
much, they're just criticizing her that
I like it.
they're just criticizing her
She's
that
got $10 billion.
they're just criticizing her that she's like she's supposed to be the CEO of like this huge thing, and like she sounds like, not only does she sound like a kid, but she sounds like she's totally unfaithful in the whole system of it to begin with, and not only that, but totally like unknowledgeable about everything that. I don't know. I
She was
guess.
saying different things.
Well,
They had meanings behind that.
No. She was saying different like terminologies,
Yeah,
but
Jargon.
you didn't get that she felt like ejected from it. Like she felt like it was just
I mean, does it surprise you that there are nihilists that exist in the world?
no
Like people that don't believe in the righteous things in life?
Like, she's just smart, but she's just unaware.
No, not like
She
naive
is
to it. What I'm
polyamorous.
trying to say is that like she doesn't even like she doesn't believe. Not only does she not believe in the product, but
she's just pure evil.
She doesn't sound like a capitalist. Is that what you're saying? She's not Republican enough for you?
All right, maybe I'm not explaining it correctly, but not only does she not, she sounds like not only does she not believe in whatever not the product that they were selling, the service that they were selling, whatever they were providing.
Right.
Not only did she not believe in it, but she didn't even fully understand it herself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she's just naive. Like,
Yeah. Well,
I took it
guess-
as more
she's
dismissive than
smart
anything.
but naive. Like,
Wow, we got 3 totally different perspectives on that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just.
Would I want her to be in charge of my hedge fund? No.
no.
Yeah.
I can say that.
Yeah.
I can say that.
And so, like, that's the criticism that she's getting is that, like, she's just totally she's not equipped to be handling a multi-billion-dollar company.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it looks like these kids got in over their head.
That's why.
Yeah,
Exactly.
no,
That's the
I'm not
whole-
disagreeing with you there.
That's the whole movie. Like they go and then they like start this whole thing, and then
This is
they-
a coming
they-
of age
They're like,
story.
where do we go? Let's go to the Bahamas. Boom, they get a penthouse, and then like all the orgies start happening and everything. You know, like we're gonna film all that.
It does sound pretty badass.
I'm saying, do you know that there's this big controversy going on in Puerto Rico right now because in some small part, but that the Paul brothers and people like them
Yeah.
are getting those tax credits.
Oh, Jake Paul, Logan Paul.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, there you go. When you said the Paul brothers, I had no idea what you're
They,
talking about.
all,
Oh,
they also
brothers.
have a harem of Mexican girls.
Well, that's nice. But I'm just saying, they're not the first company to do it, right? And even in that age group of people that are doing it just to take advantage of the tax write-off. So,
Yeah.
like, I could see why they ended up in the Bahamas. You know, I'm just saying.
So why don't you
Yeah.
put your company in the Bahamas?
Shit,
Let's do it.
let's do it.
Yeah, no, yeah, I totally, I totally get that. I think I almost encourage that, like, especially if it's like a crypto thing.
Leave Texas.
Because, like, for example, like Julio, let's say if you were, if you were to start selling,
How
like,
are you gonna leave Texas?
if you were gonna start making products, you know what I mean? It would be more expensive for you to do that out of the Bahamas because then you'd have to ship it across overseas, all this stuff. You know what I mean?
Crazy, yeah.
And so it would take you a while before it's a benefit to take advantage of, like,
I don't know how it
the
works.
lack of taxes.
You'd have
and
to
stuff.
be at scale, yeah.
But like for what you're doing right now, well, I guess
No,
technically.
like he would just move his company,
But for what you're doing right now,
quote unquote.
because you can, like it might actually. I don't know. Do you pay any? Or I don't even want to ask you. Like, if you pay any taxes? But like, yeah,
you
you
have to pay.
Everybody
you pay-
pays taxes. Make
You pay
look kind of
quarterly
questionable.
taxes, and then you also have to pay yearly taxes. So you get hit 5 times a year.
Okay, so because your service is like
Person.
like there's no cost out of being overseas, you would probably make more money, if you lived in the Bahamas. Obviously, it's not ideal.
Dude, if I could I've looked into this and like if you go to like Bali,
Yeah.
like let's just say you go somewhere like really
You go
we're
to
getting
Bali,
somewhere.
dude.
No, but
yeah.
like let's say you
I'd
did,
definitely
right?
go visit Julio, like wherever.
If you go to like Bali,
If you go to Bali, we'll visit you.
you can live pretty well, I'm hearing, for around $2,500 a month.
Yeah.
I mean, like really well comparatively,
Yeah.
but you're in Bali.
Yeah.
And I know that some people have all said that about India. Like you can go to India for like $2,000 in your pocket, and you're living pretty well. Because I've seen Bald and Bankrupt. He's a YouTube channel that I'll watch a lot, and I've seen him like pay essentially 50-60 cents for like lunch.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, crazy. Like I've thought about that too, because you'll see a lot of my competitors online. Like say I go on like Fiverr or Craigslist, something like that.
Yeah.
A lot of my competitors aren't other people in America. They're like the Indian guys who are willing to do it for $5.
Yeah.
Because $5 US
Goes a long way.
goes a long way over there. You know what I mean? And like, I think they're pretty smart for having figured that out. You know what I mean? I think it'd be much more of a sustainable way for me to just go about my business if I had that sort of like expense to profit ratios.
I thought you meant the Indians. They're pretty smart for figuring that out. I was like, they have no choice, Julio. They live there. But you're talking about Bankman-Fried and all of
Exactly.
them. Okay,
Yeah.
I get you. Yeah.
But I mean, yes, Indians too. You're smart for figuring that out. I mean, they
They
still have to
live there.
figure
They
out
can't-
what website to promote himself on. You know what I mean? Like,
They live there, Julio.
hey man, shout out to the Indian
Shout
artists
out.
in the world. All right,
Shout out.
I'm not about this division. One love. What's up?
Not Mickey the jerk.
All right. So speaking of division, and JB, you're the one who brought this up because
What?
I know. Hold on, let me finish. Are you okay?
Yeah. Thanks for asking. Are you okay?
No, I'm pissed off because of all the shit I have to deal with out here.
Oh, dude.
That's why it's coming in so hot.
Do you want me to go deal?
hot takes,
I asked
dude.
you to do one thing. Like,
Do you want me to
Julio,
go deal with it for you?
Let me vent a little bit. Okay, wait, hold
yeah,
on.
yeah,
Let
yeah.
me
Go
put me a
for
little
it.
bit bigger.
Vent a little bit, brother.
See what I'm saying,
I
dude? This
could-
guy's molten right now. He's
Yeah,
like a
no,
shaking
yeah,
up
yeah.
Coke.
All right,
and then someone dumped the Mentos.
All right, Julio.
Yeah, what's up?
All right. I could ask Julio to do anything.
Yeah.
And he'll like push back, like just
Yeah.
hold the mic, dude. Like it's no big deal. Or
What do you mean it's no big
wait,
deal?
shh,
I'm
shh.
very tense right now. You're
that's what
tensing
you're
me
holding
up.
it for?
Hold on.
Yeah, because he's like, oh, he's got
Hold the mic, or you could pull the mic closer to you. Whatever you got to do, just have the mic close to you. That's all I'm asking for.
It's just a lot to ask, you know what I mean? Like, y'all do it because you're fidgety and you're like, I don't want this burden, this heavy burden on my soul. Look. That's a lot.
Look, JB, what did I just say? I said I could ask Julio to do anything, and he'll push back.
Yeah.
I asked him to hold a mic, and he just converted that to a heavy burden
Dude,
on his soul.
We on the car ride, Mickey.
It's so
Oh wait,
funny.
wrong one. Sorry. Damn it! I was like, they're cheering about me.
Yeah, because I'm right.
On the car ride over here, we were having this conversation. How this guy, since such a small age, he's just had this mentality that I don't have to do anything. That anybody has to fucking tell me. Even if you beat the shit out of me, I still probably won't fucking do whatever the fuck you tell me that I have to fucking do. Because I don't have to fucking do it. He's just always had this mentality.
I can empathize with it, but for the sake of other people listening, for the sake of consistency, for the sake of quality, just just hold it up, please.
I'm just saying it's a lot to ask. I wanted to be recognized that I'm in a hunchback mode now.
You can move it however you want.
I get it.
You
And
want me
look,
to try
I'm
and
doing
time
it. I just, the method in which it was asked of me, could have been slightly nicer. It's your tone.
right.
It's your tone.
Pretty please with sugar on top.
Yeah, all day, every day.
Damn it.
No, but I've always had that sort of anti-authoritarian sentiment.
Yeah.
And I really think that's, where our friendship actually meets, because there's a lot of things that you just buck against, and there's things that I buck against. And the one thing that I usually buck against is anyone asking me to do anything.
That's the one thing.
That's
that
the
you
one
usually
thing.
buck against?
Yeah.
Anybody asking you to do anything?
That's the only thing. I'm pretty good with the flow.
Julio, I think that's everything.
No, I don't know about that.
What else would you buck against?
I don't know. Lots of things. I'm very counterculture.
Okay. No, do you know what? You're 100% right, dude. I could 100% empathize with you. That's part of the whole punk rock culture. You know what I mean? Like anti-establishment, anti-authority.
Yeah.
It's a band, anti-authority. And you know what? It took actually, I still recognize it within myself because I put myself in pretty healthy work environments to where I'm not micromanaged or anything like that. But it's happened to where, something will happen to where I just, I need to be told to do something. I don't know, a project will come up or something random will come up. Yeah. And just that little bit of them asking me to do something, I do feel like I feel judged, you know what I mean? And I feel like a little bit hey, nobody tells me what to do. I feel a little bit of and so it is a little switch to where okay, I need to chill out. You know what I mean? I need to they're not.
You project a little bit onto it. I found that I'll be stubborn like that to a fault, where sometimes I'll just get in arguments that don't need to be had necessarily.
Yeah.
Just because, like you said, that little switch goes off.
Yeah.
And, fuck it, I'll die on this hill. Sorry for cursing.
No, it's okay. That's okay. It's okay, dude. There's no rule against cursing. I just can't curse anymore because I don't know. Or I could still curse. Fuck you. I'm kidding around.
Yeah. No, but it is pretty crazy about that that FTX thing. I had been keeping an eye on it too.
Yeah.
Just for my own sanity, because I have some shib,
okay,
some few million shib, but
oh, shit.
Yeah, it sounds impressive, but it's not it's not, because if you know that one shib coin is 0.0000007 pennies. You know what I mean? So $100 is 5 million shib.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just to say I have a couple $100, but it sounds nice. Yeah. I have a few million crypto. Now look, here's the deal. Here's the long bet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, because it's a deregulated currency.
Yeah.
it could go bust just like FTX.
Yeah.
That 200, couple $100 that I have in SHIB could be for naught because there could be this shit stick fucking CEO and he's just doing whatever he wants and he's in a cabal of polyamory.
Yeah.
And then my money's fucked, right?
Yeah.
However that works, but it computes that it could happen.
Did you tell them about our coin that we're gonna start?
Oh, I'll tell him afterwards. Let him finish.
Okay.
I was just saying, or what if, and this is the big what if, you just hold the asset over time.
Yeah.
And if the market can correct and stabilize.
Yeah.
And if that coin can appreciate in value from the 0.00009 to literally just 1 cent.
Yeah.
You're telling me I have to tell you you have to hold on to my money for how long?
No, I don't know. That's my point. So historically speaking, for Bitcoin, it was like 15 years.
Yeah.
I remember being
2012.
2011, even earlier.
Like you could have bought like 10 coins for like $100 a piece, and that's like
I didn't even know it was around.
$1,000.
No, it was, and the reason that I knew is because of GameStop. Like they had this option for Bitcoin,
dude. That's your front door.
and
It's fine. I think Priscilla's good. No, I'll get it. All right, I'll be back. I'm sorry, guys.
but anyways, yeah, they had this option for Bitcoin, and so it's like I knew it was a
Do you need
thing,
me to go, Mickey?
but it was a good 15 to 10 years before it was worth a damn. You know what I mean? So I could have been an early adopter and been rich, but
That's what I'm
did I
saying.
know?
Like, imagine, like, because if I would have bought like 10 coins, the point that where it was like at 60K, sold at least 5 of them, try to cash that out. You could have probably cashed that out in that time, but after a certain point, you probably wouldn't been have able to. You know what I mean? So it's like you would have had to have almost like it's almost luck.
Yeah, it is luck, but I'm also trying, at least in my thinking, here's my thinking. And again, not a financial advisor.
Exactly.
Don't listen to me. I'm a loser. All right. What I'm trying to say is like,
too.
if you have the Bitcoin and that's the market holder, right? It's the number one guy in the market right now.
Right.
Then I was looking for the next, like what's the cola to this Pepsi? Or what's the Pepsi
Like
to the
Ethereum.
cola? Yeah, and it's Ethereum. Right now they have the second market share. And I was like, okay, but even one Ethereum is kind of a little pricey. It's like $1,000 maybe,
Yeah,
I think, for
$2,000.
one. Yeah. And I was like, dang, okay, I missed that train. Right. What, and I'm looking for another train, you know what I mean? So what else is kind of in the pipeline? And then that's when I found about Dogecoin. Looked into Dogecoin a little bit, but this is before it popped off. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So it's backed up by this thing called Ethereum. I don't know anything about crypto at this point. Like I'm literally just getting into it, reading articles. Really. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, Doge. And then I think within a month of me like becoming aware of it as a coin, that's when you have all that spike of Doge millionaires and billionaires, the people that really banked off of it, and then it kind of crashed.
Yeah.
On the crash is where I came into it because that's where I heard about the hate coin to Dogecoin, which was Shibcoin. And so me being me thinking, well, the internet loves spite. So if Shib
I remember when you were telling me
could succeed,
you remember when we were
it would be it'd be out of spite.
You remember we were at Rudy's?
Yeah, at the barbecue. Yeah, we were at the barbecue. I'm just saying, like, I'm gonna buy this because I think people out of spite would want this to succeed. And then even if Dogecoin succeeds, SHIB still succeeds because they're all on the same network with Ethereum. So I don't know. I just found this was like, those Russian dolls where each one's inside the other one. And that's my philosophy on trading. There it is. Cat's out the bag.
I don't have a lot of money in that anymore. I took most of it out.
I mean, if you need money, you shouldn't be investing it anywhere. That's kind of the first and foremost.
I'm trying to save more, if anything.
But then if you save money, it doesn't necessarily appreciate in value. You're better off getting like some sort of index fund.
It's in a savings account.
Just bet on the S&P. You know what I mean?
I have
an index fund. Look into index funds.
I do have a stock. I do have a stock in Pepsi. They've been paying me dividends. They gave me like $1.50 for like a stock.
The share on it, yeah. That's the stuff.
That's pretty good.
That's the good stuff.
Yeah. Buy Pepsi.
Hold it. Colgate too.
Not a financial advisor again. Not a financial advisor. But if you have money, you need money to do stuff. In business for business.
In
right?
business for business.
In
Okay.
business for business.
That is the last time I'm going to walk out, okay? Other than getting myself a drink.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I should be all good. Ugh, that was so annoying.
Are you sure? Are we good?
Nah, yeah, we're
Do
good.
you
We're
need
good.
me to? Yeah.
All right. All right. But yeah, so so JB was the one who brought it up because I know zero about soccer. I know zero about like the World Cup. I know zero about all that stuff that's going on. But apparently, it's a big deal that this year they're doing the World Cup in Qatar.
Qatar.
Yeah,
It's the first Middle Eastern country that they've hosted.
completely or what?
At
They've
all.
never done it in any other.
No other Middle Eastern country.
Oh wow.
It started in South America.
Yeah.
The first World Cup was in South
Brazil?
America.
Okay.
Ecuador won.
Ecuador.
The following year was in England.
Okay.
England didn't win until '65.
They vote for it. Like they vote for where the
Yeah,
next
where it-
cup would be held, and that's why there's like controversy behind it because like apparently there was like bribery and like shit because some places had more votes than other places because one dude had like islands.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a chain of islands, so he had like 28 votes. So you
Oh,
could just
okay.
get
He stuffed the election box.
you could just
Yeah,
get real
okay.
good with this guy. It was like on Netflix. Like it kind of broke it down. I was like, okay, like that made more sense.
Uh-huh.
So then they would just get real good with like people or whatever, like with money, gifts or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Like it's just like a lot of stuff like that got into it. But in Qatar specifically though, like there was like a interview that I saw where in Israel, well, apparently like they're putting out that they're to like if you're gonna travel to Qatar to be cautious because they're being what's the word, like they're being turned away pretty much like for journalists to watch out like because they're in danger, right? Apparently, but they're not like. There's just like a little clip of like an Israel journalist going up to a Japanese fan.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, well, what do you think of the game?" And he's like, "I'm with Israel." And then she's just like puts her hand up, like, and just walks away.
Oh, that whole conflict.
yeah.
And,
So,
do you know, hey, it's tense. Like that's what a lot of people don't understand. And that's really like.
but they're stating that they're in danger because they're being targeted or they're being,
Yeah.
But only because of the simple fact that everybody's just turning them away. Nobody wants to do an interview with Israel because of the whole like stuff that's going on, right? Mm-hmm. And so they're all standing with Palestinians or whatever. So yeah, I thought it was just crazy that they're like stating that they're in danger, even though they're just like, not that we're in danger. It's just that we just don't want anything to do with you, like kind of thing, like. But they're taking it as like a hostile threat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's really how I wanted to like bring it all around is that like people don't understand that it's a different world, like and I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud to like be a Christian. I'm proud to be from the Valley.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I'm not naive enough to know that there's other countries, there's other cultures, there's other I don't know, there's other like beliefs and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just to where like that's
It's like a pretty big deal. Like
you have to respect it. You can't just think that other people should be like you or because obviously I think other people should be like Americans.
Do you think other people should be like
Christians.
you?
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like, I don't believe that you should go around with the mentality that other people should, like, go into another country and think less of this country because they're different. You know what I mean? But, okay, well, okay, so
Elaborate, if you will.
So I know nothing about the issues in Qatar. I literally just found out about all this today. But the biggest issues is that apparently they're naturalizing players that aren't even from Qatar. Like they're trying to get like Brazilian soccer players, like really good soccer players, to join their team and claim them as like being from Qatar, and they've never even lived in Qatar. Right. they're paying fans to come to Qatar,
Right.
especially from like England and I forgot what the other country was.
Brazil.
And so also they've spent $220 billion
Jesus.
creating stadiums, different type of accommodations, and even entire cities for the World Cup specifically.
Dude, number 4 kills me the most, dude.
Okay, so
Number 4 kills me the most. How could you be at the World Cup?
dude,
What?
You can't drink. That's number 4. You're not allowed to drink.
I was gonna
alcohol.
say the exact same thing.
And there's no beer at the soccer game.
Out of all the issues
In
that
certain
are
places, you can.
out of all of the issues and the controversies from the World Cup being in Qatar, I agree that like that one bothered me the most. It's a World Cup. It's like having the Super Bowl. Okay, no beer or alcohol allowed.
Nobody would go.
But they did say that they were going. They did say they were going to give all of the beer to whatever country won.
Oh, really?
That was their comment.
Oh, they have it in storage? Or-
No.
I mean, it's all there. The business. I mean, for them to have done it, like you said, 2 days prior to the event, like they knew they were gonna do it.
Yeah.
You know, but they didn't. They no one else could know.
Okay.
So all the business operations went just as planned. So no
That's what
one
I'm saying.
was
Like people with money
wiser.
are drinking. If you have money, like then you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. I
In Qatar.
Regardless.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's what I saw. Like executives and corporate, corporate people, that there was an area where they can drink.
Right.
Yeah, but nobody else can. But they can
Exactly.
drink. Although there is a separated.
We just had to be fucking rich. That's
Yeah.
the only thing.
Although there's a separated area to where they allow people to to drink. They just can't do it in the stadiums. But like, there's a separate section. I don't know how it works.
No, I
but-
think it was like in the stadiums, but like I'm saying, like you gotta be rich.
Oh no, yeah, that or okay, that. But also just regular people. There's a section. There's an area where they can drink. It's just not in the stadiums. Also.
That one too. That one pissed me
Yeah,
off.
there's a lot of pressure from the LGBT community for discrimination because obviously they have such conservative, they have such a conservative culture that it's like anti-LGBT. And so like they paid David Beckham to do all of these like promotional videos and stuff about like, oh, Qatar is such a great place, all this stuff. And so now they're putting pressure on David Beckham, like, oh, you're anti-LGBT and you're, you're standing up for this company that stands up for like all these monstrosities. I don't know.
Not David.
But that's more of a PR problem.
Yeah.
Like, alternatively, Dennis Rodman.
Robin.
He didn't get the backlash when he went to North Korea because he's got a hell of a PR person.
He did. Yeah, I remember those.
But he just says, "Oh, it's all about basketball. It's all about basketball," and it's okay. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, it is okay, Dennis. Like, it's chill, and everyone forgive him."
I think if Dennis Rodman were to do what David Beckham did, I think he would get away with it as well.
Go to Qatar.
But I think it's just because I think it's more like that it's Dennis Rodman. You know what I mean? Dennis Rodman is kind of taboo in himself.
Dennis Rodman can do whatever the fuck he wants.
But like David Beckham, he's such a squeaky clean guy.
Yeah, David
like,
Beckham has a status that all these little kids
What do you
look
mean,
up to.
dude? He's a spicy boy. He's married to Posh Spice, bro.
Yeah, but he's not. But he's not controversial.
Wow.
I don't know. Is he? Is there
Nah,
something I don't know?
He's pretty wholesome. He's pretty wholesome.
All right.
He's a cool guy.
Also, the way that they built all of these cities and all of these stadiums, it's all taking place in 8 stadiums. 7 of them are brand new.
Right.
So like,
Wait,
all of this stuff was built.
7 games are happening in 8 different places at the same time.
Well, not so much now because the groups. So real quick update. They're about to enter the group stage tomorrow. The elimination stage tomorrow. They just finished the group stage. Pardon my French. So all the people that started have all been weeded out, and now it's the top of the groups, the 2 that emerged in each group. So we're playing for keeps now because if you lose the game, you're out, and from here it's going to go to the championship.
In 8 different stadiums.
The first team to have been eliminated from the World Cup was Qatar itself.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's about it.
So
It's ironic, like, you know, it's irony in a way.
So all of the construction was done with cheap labor, outsourced from other like impoverished countries
well,
to where like
mostly India and Malaysia.
okay.
And I do know a little bit about this, but basically it was a government endorsed program where you would come to the Qatar as a resident, not a citizen, right? But you would come as a resident to help in the construction of the facilities. At some point, I wasn't there, right? But at some point what they would do is they would ask the worker for their passport to make like a photocopy and then just hold on to it. So now that worker has no means of leaving the country without a passport. So you have no documentation, and now they basically own you. So it's what they're calling that modern day version of slavery.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, they're taking their
And thousands of people died. Men in particular, thousands of men died.
Sacrifices.
For our fun, for our fun times.
Allah Akbar.
Inshallah. But I don't know. I mean, it's definitely not preferable.
Yeah, and so that's another part of like what's controversial is that, you know, people died, a lot of people died during this, you know, during the construction of
7 fucking stadiums. 8, well, 7?
8 cities.
yeah.
8 cities? How far are these cities apart from each other?
I mean, Qatar is a very small country, to be fair.
$220 billion, dude. That, you know, that's like that's a ridiculous amount of money. Like that's inconceivable.
That's dirty money.
$1 billion is inconceivable.
What it is so the geography of Qatar is that there's the Saudi Arabian Peninsula, and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia rules most of it. But then there's another peninsula jutting out of that peninsula, and that smaller peninsula is Qatar.
Let's see.
And it's right on the Strait of Djibouti, so it's a very strategic location for our military. Wow. Qatar has the designation of being one of the only countries that it considers a non-NATO friend of America, along with Germany, or not Germany, but Japan, and I forget the other one now.
That's nice.
And it's because we allow our military ships to be flown from Qatar to whatever operating theater, whether it be Iraq or Afghanistan. Historically, we've always been safe to land there, refuel there, and station our troops there. So that's why, even in this corruption, you'd have to ask, well, why is the world allowing it to happen? And it's because, you know, America has profited off of them before, and our relationship with that country for like a long time, at least going back 20 some odd years.
Yeah.
And lastly, how do they have so much money to give to all these people?
To begin with.
Right off the coast of the northern coast there, they have one of the world's largest oil deposits, offshore oil deposits ever. And there's a split where they have to split it between them and Iran. But they have like a 60-40 split, and 60% of the split of the oil field goes to Qatar. So for the but here's the thing, it's a specific type of gas where they have to make it liquid to transport it.
Right.
And they transport the gas in liquid form, and they can put it on boats, and then it sails out. And all this was making them a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then the Russians invaded Ukraine.
Right, and so it doubled in price.
And now they're making way more money, and they're gonna keep making way more money.
Everything happens for a reason, dude. Like, it doesn't happen like on accident.
Yeah.
Like, and now they have the money to do.
But did they make that bid Didn't they make that bid before the?
They made it. I think they had already annexed Crimea. The Russians had already annexed Crimea.
No, but I'm saying, didn't they make the bid like way before?
Yeah, but I'm telling you, I think they had already annexed Crimea.
Okay.
So here's what I'm saying. They're in a position that it's really good for them if people think Russians are bad.
Right.
Okay.
Because then they'll buy our gas and not Russian gas.
Right.
Okay, I see.
So what I'm saying is like
stigma was already there.
Right. Like in the geopolitical scheme of things, the blood was in the water.
Okay.
And they said, okay, if we push now, try to get a good image for ourselves while Russia's is crumbling, whip bamboo. You know, we gotta sell. You gotta sell stew.
Despite the war not starting yet, despite Russia not invading Ukraine yet, Russia still had the stigma of like, you know, that, oh, they could invade any day now, whatever, and that was enough.
Well,
to
now you got a
give
man
them-
that's like kind of going back. That's not gonna go back on his word. Almost like, you know, like kind of has to happen just because he wanted it to happen. Like,
Okay, but okay, so what was the last one? Where were we? Were we on the cheap labor? Okay. So the last one was so, and it was what you were talking about, to where they may have not legitimately won the bid,
Right.
that they possibly bribed other leaders into
Sepp
voting for
Blatter
them.
and the organization of FIFA. But I do want to say, for those that are not always paying attention to the world of FIFA, this is a very corrupt organization and has been
begin
so since our grandfather's time. Like, this is not new.
yeah,
Just this. If anything, it's like how blatant that we can all know that no one chose Qatar,
Yeah.
and yet we're here.
Yeah.
And then that's why it seems insulting to most people. Is like, maybe if this was another one in Brazil, or maybe if
Right.
this was in Argentina, somewhere that made sense.
Yeah.
But Qatar,
what was it? It was supposed to go to England, wasn't it? Or
Oh, we don't know who. Or,
I
No,
personally
there was
don't know
some-
where it was going to go.
because it's on the show, like they talk about it. Like it was gonna go to somebody, but then boom, somebody comes in with you know, money,
Which I'm sure happens all the time, and that's not
yeah.
necessarily the issue, right? Because it maybe in a few decades ago, it would have been France coming in with the bid, right?
They talk about that time where they had like suitcases of money got delivered to everybody's like rooms wherever they were meeting at. Like, I don't know if you've ever.
But it makes sense, and I'm telling you, it's because of that. They call it the North Field,
yeah,
that offshore oil field. You saw the map of Qatar. I'm literally telling you that oil field is as big as the country.
Yeah.
Almost as big as there is land in that country, that there is an oil field just offshore. So that's just so much money, dude.
Yeah. I was looking at this. What's your problem, JB?
He's dying. He swallowed
JB,
down
I'm going to put you on mute. Can't have that here.
went down the wrong pipe.
The what? The
Went
what?
down the wrong pipe.
Oh, okay.
And it's whiskey, so it like burns.
I saw a list of like the most rich,
man.
companies out there, and so like I think Saudi Arabia was like, or one of the oil companies out of Saudi Arabia were number 4, but
Yeah,
their margin for profit was like by far larger
biggest.
than number 1, 2, and 3. And so technically, they're really the most
Right,
rich out of all. Yeah, out of all, because they had the
Crazy,
most
like,
money. Yeah.
yeah, like
Here's the other thing that's crazy about Qatar. Because I went in, like, I was just digging, like, why, you know? You get
exactly.
interested.
No, yeah.
And so what I also found out was there's 5 million people that live there proper.
Yeah.
Only 300,000 are citizens.
Jesus Christ.
Like, the majority of people there are some sort of non-citizen worker at best, or freeman,
Refugee.
or worse. You know what I mean? Like, it's very questionable.
Yeah, do you know, I could empathize so much with it, because like, okay, and the only thing I could compare it to is like the UFC before USADA, to where like, you know, we're saying that FIFA has been like so corrupt like for so long. And it was like when the UFC, like there was so much cheating, like, you know, throughout the entire history in the UFC, to where like, could you really blame somebody in it? You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's why, like, I feel like I saw this interview that one Qatar rep did with Piers Morgan, and it kind of got me thinking, like, do you know what? Maybe I'm rushing quick to judgment. You know, like maybe they're just playing within the rules. You know what I mean? Like they're not any different from America. That's, you know, whoever the representative is in America in FIFA or any other country. You know, they're just playing within the rules, and really maybe like all of those, like, because Qatar has such wonky, most of them aren't citizens, and they have such a like wonky foundation as a country. maybe they're actually trying to get a stable, like some type of stability. You know what I mean? Like some type of like, and this could be the stepping stone. And like, hey, we'll get notoriety. People will know that Qatar is a nice place to live, and you know what I mean? Like, maybe it's the same positive.
No, I agree with that. I agree with it. On the world stage, that's if I was in their shoes, that's what I would want to do.
Yeah.
I want to make the point that so like I was saying, they have a very small population, 300,000 people.
Yeah.
So their GDP is actually the number one in the world.
Oh, wow.
Because of how much money they have as opposed to how many people there are on the
Right.
So they have the most money of all, cool.
Oh.
But the real reason why I think they were biding their time and that they decided to do it now is because they knew everyone knows America has the next World Cup. The next one's going to be here.
In Dallas. We should go. Let's go.
But hear me out.
What am I going to do?
Who would have been the people?
What? We're gonna get drunk in Dallas watching the soccer.
I'm going to
game.
pay a bunch of money to just watch a game that I'm not really that into.
You don't want to go have fun.
Well, not for that much, dude. I could have
They're
fun.
not soccer guys.
All right, I'm sorry.
The other group of friends will be doing the Texas
We're
two-step.
gonna go.
Look, finish what you're going to say.
Okay, so look, real quick. My point is that it was well-timed. It was a well-timed power play.
We'll go, JP.
Because everyone knew that America
You're not
was going to
invited
get the
anymore.
next bid.
Yeah.
So we weren't going to throw a BF, if, something happened with this one. Because we knew we were fine with the other one.
Yeah.
And not that we're the biggest soccer country, but just like world politics, obviously, like our stance matters. And I think the fact that Qatar could be like, hey, man, you like launching your missiles from our backyard, right? You want to keep
Give us
doing
this
that?
one.
Yeah, you want to keep up with that?
It's a political strategy on it.
Okay. It's just so well orchestrated that it's clearly what's going on.
Wait, well, how does FIFA interfere with that, or how does
No, it doesn't. It's not that it interferes with it. I'm just saying, like, you'd have to imagine, what were the series of events that led us to the situation where, America didn't try to stop it, Europe didn't try to stop it, and besides the personal bribes, I understand.
Didn't try to stop what?
The bid for having them be the hosts.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And why did the world at large mostly allow for it to happen?
Mm-hmm.
I think just to add to all the list of reasons that we've already said, there's this other reason that Big Brother USA didn't really care to fight it because no matter what, they're going to be the host next time. So it's okay. That's all. It's a dumb point, but that's my point.
Oh, okay. All right. No, that wasn't a dumb
We're gonna
point.
be
That was-
there.
That was a good point. Okay. Well,
We're
let
gonna
me
be there.
go ahead and play
I
this
am.
interview.
I'm going.
We're gonna be there.
Find us. Texas two-step, Houston and Dallas. The boys will be
Let's
there.
go.
All right, I'm gonna play this interview.
I'll be there fucking drunk.
Also, shout out Christian Pulisic before we switch subjects. Fantastic fucking goal. He put it all on the line for his country, had internal bleeding. After the fact, he's a fucking G, Captain America.
Western standards.
Way to go, Christian
Migrant
Pulisic.
workers have indisputably been treated badly.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Front-
But nevertheless, we've always said one thing. The most important element is our response is always going to be by actions, as opposed to words.
So Gary Lineker, who fronts the BBC coverage, he's a friend of mine, full disclosure.
What's up, Ben?
Big fan of his work over the years, both on the pitch and off. But he did a sort of monologue at the start of the BBC's coverage, pointing out all the bad things about Qatar. And all I felt was he didn't do that at the Russia World Cup.
No.
They didn't run your opening ceremony this time, the BBC on the main channel. They did in Russia. They ran it, for example, with the China Olympics, the Beijing Winter Olympics.
Yes.
It seems to me to be a bit of a double standard there.
Well, it's disappointing, for an institution such as the BBC, especially, or in particular BBC Sports, an institution that is always known, or at least, as I grew up, was always known to be, objective in stating the facts and allowing for, different points of view to be addressed and for the audience to make their own decision. For the actions.
Why should we force on you anything, frankly? Whether it's our values that we have in the UK, the way we dress, the way we talk, the way we drink. I'm not sure that we're in any position to take the high moral ground as a country which, for example, invaded Iraq illegally in 2003, an invasion I opposed as a newspaper editor. Does that give us bragging rights on morality with the
Yes.
Middle East? I'm not sure that it does. But I do want to turn to something
hell?
where I think I would say I have a criticism. notably migrant workers. The Guardian newspaper said that 6,500 migrant workers have died as a result of the World Cup construction. I've looked into this, as have many other fact checkers. That figure is deeply misleading because it's actually the number of migrants who've died in total in the last 12 years since the bid was confirmed for Qatar of any cause. But do you know how many migrant workers have died as a result of any construction since the announcement of the bid?
Here it goes.
What we did from day one, at least within the organization that I'm responsible for, is we were committed towards being transparent and capturing any incidents, whether it's in terms of misses, near misses, accidents, or unfortunately deaths. And we decided to capture, and we made a decision in terms of obviously work-related deaths as defined under the industry standard, but also capturing what we consider to be non-work-related deaths. And this is only purely in relation to the stadiums and the projects that we're responsible for.
And what are those totals?
And that's 3 work-related deaths and 37 non-work-related deaths.
Right. These are deaths specific to World Cup construction, the stadiums,
specific to World Cup stadiums.
Do you know how many people have died in Qatar since you won the bid in the last 12 years from any construction related to anything to do with the World Cup? In other words, new hotels, new bridges, whatever. In other words, what is the honest, realistic total, do you think, of migrant workers who died from as a result of what they're doing for the World Cup in totality?
The estimate is around 400. Between 400 and 500. I don't have the exact number. That's something that's being discussed.
I mean, there will be people, Hassan, who say that's a lot of people. That's
a lot. That is a lot of people.
100 is a price too big to pay.
Also, I do want
What do
to.
you say
These
to
are the reported deaths.
Yeah.
There's also unreported, Mickey.
Because the number the number goes up. I'm just saying the number does go up.
You always have to
I'm not making
multiply. You always have to do like a time and a half. Like you have to do. So he said 400. So let's say like about.
You'd have to imagine what is like.
2 grand.
What's the obvious one? Like you'd have to get good at hiding deaths, period.
Yeah.
But then what are the ones that are on the fence? Because like you see a guy splat, like he fell off the high rise.
Yeah.
Okay, that's I gotta mark it. It's on the tally.
There's
But what are the
one
ones where they're not?
Yeah.
where they like don't see them? Like no, but everybody has their backs and they just kind of
You just got lost in the sand.
they kind of
dunes.
fall off
You know what
and
I
then
mean?
he's
Like,
just
yeah.
like.
Yeah. Obviously, they're going to report lower than what.
So for everyone,
or they're going to find any reason to not categorize it under what like it being related to them doing the the construction for the World Cup.
yeah, it's crazy.
But I can imagine it being somewhere. That's a huge gap between that. What was like 4,000 or 6,000 and that 400. So I can imagine it being somewhere in between. I don't know what spectrum, but yeah, obviously they would sway it into like, okay, well, which of it is actually related to World Cup construction. All right, one more.
You said everything like hotels.
All right, one more. 1205. Okay.
Be in Qatar now?
It's
for the
safe
World
for
Cup?
everybody to be in Qatar. Yes. Unequivocally, Pierce. Yes.
And safe for gay people to live in Qatar?
Yes. I think it's safe for everybody to live in Qatar, Pierce.
But there would be a problem if a gay couple, for example, showed demonstrative displays of
Public display of affection generally is not part of our culture. Public display of affection is not part of our culture. It's not, regardless of who you are, regardless of your sexual identification or and so on, public display of affection is not. And again, I say that, and I mean within reason. Holding hands in the streets is fine.
For gay people?
Holding hands in the streets for anybody is fine.
It is?
But what I'm saying is, there's...
Oh, it's wrong.
It's not part of our culture. We're a relatively conservative culture. In the West, the individual's personal rights always trump, let's say, the community rights. That's what's most sacred. Now, there are other societies, our society being one of them, the Arab world and the Middle East, where it's the communal values, it's the values of the community and society, which is also, again, fundamentally related to religion as well. That is,
and that's why, like, I
You want to start a cult?
No. What I'm trying to say is, I don't, I can empathize with that.
Yeah.
Like to where, You don't go into a different culture and try to impose yourself on them. You know, like you're in their house.
But that's
You're
what
in their
they-
country.
That's what they want to do.
Yeah, that's what they want to.
They want to impose their will.
Oh, you're saying like LGBT
Yeah.
people? Yeah. Well, that's why like we can't just assume like, hey, they're a conservative culture. Like there's like we know they're a conservative culture, and so like
But he just like he blatantly was like, oh, so like two gays holding hands, and he was just like,
that's why look
that's a no.
That I don't believe for a second.
It's obviously a no.
Like I think maybe there's some very like forgiving people from that area that will maybe just judge them or something, but not say anything.
I don't know, man.
But dude, I do not believe that for a second, dude. Two gay people holding hands.
You want to
like,
go to Qatar and hold hands and then see what happens?
No, I absolutely do not want to do that.
Not really.
But that's why I don't believe that for a second. That like, okay, two gay people can hold hands.
Gay.
But like, I also want to empathize with them to where like, it's our culture.
Yeah.
Our culture is like we're very conservative.
They just want to preserve that.
With the opposite sex, like we're very conservative in regular marital relationships. Like
Right.
so like you guys like are really trying to push the line when you're saying,
Yeah.
oh, gays can come, they can come to our country, they can openly do all this, like
It's like Julio said. Where's the line?
Yep.
Where do you draw the line?
yeah, and that's why like we can't push our line
And
on
they're
somebody
pushing
else's
their
line.
line. Like, no, this is don't even cross this.
But that's why they're not pushing their line. That's their culture.
That's just their line. That's
That's
their
their
line.
line.
Yeah.
Don't cross
yeah.
this, and we're good.
Like in Singapore, if you smoke,
Can you
Honest-
face it towards you?
sure, 1 second.
All right.
Jesus.
Actually, I gotta use the restroom. I'll be back. Hold on.
Let's just say you were.
What are you complaining about, JB?
Here's one thing: if you're in Singapore
You should've.
and you want to smoke a cigarette, right? Let's just say that's the
Here we go.
scenario. Okay, so you're gonna take a break. You want to go out for a cig on your work break. Where are you gonna go smoke your cigarette?
Outside
Where?
in the smoking area.
They don't have smoking areas. They have alleys.
To the alley.
Yeah, you gotta go to the alley. You have to. Because if you're on the street, you'll go to jail. For like a long time.
Smoking a cigarette on the street.
On the street, specifically. In the alley? Okay.
Like hidden away.
Yeah. That was the crazy thing. Walking through there, and like the streets are empty, but the alleyways are full of smokers. No, I mean just regular business people. These are like their business. They go
You
downstairs.
walk through there.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like it's not like I felt threatened because they're just trying to have a cig. But it's just crazy that they were also everyone was smoking. B, you couldn't do it on the street. Like to outlaw something that clearly everyone enjoys and partakes in, but is unallowed to do. I found that to be kind of strange. But that was their line. So cool. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to as a guest
I'd
in
wanna
their country,
smoke-
like I'm not
wanna-
trying to
I'd want to smoke it on the street.
JB.
That's-
You're holding hands with dudes in Qatar then.
That's freedom.
It's the same thing.
That's freedom.
Tastes good, don't it?
Like in front of your shop, just. But
It's
no,
a power
I
move.
gotta go to the alley.
Yeah.
in the
Everyone
back,
does.
where the dumpster is.
Yeah.
With
the trash.
With the trash.
You're trash.
With the trash.
Yeah. I'm not saying Singaporeans are trash. You understand the joke, right? I don't want my name plastered over Twitter tomorrow.
Not like that. Like
That's not what I
you're
meant.
smoking a cigarette like where the trash is, like instead of like where you could be in the front, in the street.
That's what I'm saying. Like when you said designated smoking
In
area,
the
I'm
lab.
like, no, because that would say that they respect it even to that degree.
Yeah.
Like it's not the
I mean,
case.
it used to be like designated. I mean, I don't know. Like that was I don't know. It's like
Beautiful place though. If you ever get the chance to go, you
should, yeah,
you
right.
should go.
Yeah.
The Garden City.
Eat some good food.
Yeah, I know. It's
Yo.
crazy.
Okay, we're done, Mickey.
We're supposed to go to bingo.
Oh, let's go. Let's go to Sunday.
Sunday?
Let's go Sunday, yeah, bro.
Dude, my Thea goes to bingo.
Let's go Sunday
I think-
to the bingo ranch.
I think I'm down.
Let's do it.
I think I'm down.
Let's do it.
I'll let you know.
Yeah. Wait, what? You just said
Like at 2:00. No, it's like at 2 or 3.
Okay.
At 1 or 2.
So are we gonna go or no?
Yeah, we're gonna go.
Okay. No, because you're. I was like, all right, let's go.
Because I go to church and I'll probably get out like at 12 or 1.
Okay. Yeah, because I was like, all right, let's go, and you were like, all right, I'll let you know. But
Yeah, like I'll text you when I'm there.
But you said
It's BYOB.
really?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's what the girl told me last time, but I don't know.
But nobody there was drinking.
Nobody there. No, they're all like serious.
They're all there for
They're all
business.
serious players. Yeah,
Yeah.
Crazy.
my mom wants to go. I'll take my mom
To church?
No, to bingo.
Your mom better want to go to church.
No, she wants to go to bingo. She doesn't want to go to church.
Oh my gosh. All right, I'm gonna bring something up real quick. All right.
What are you gonna bring up?
The Balenciaga photo shoot.
Do your little bam bam bam.
What is that?
Or
Photos.
and also do the bum bum
All right.
because this is a boner move on Balenciaga's part, and also on humanity's part.
What is this?
You didn't hear about the Balenciaga photo shoot?
No.
They're in trouble because they did a photo shoot for their little bear products. You see those little teddy bears?
Yeah.
Or this is probably a better picture. But these bears they're like wearing. Okay, first of all, there's children. What the fuck? All right, there's children holding them. But the bears are wearing like leather, like BDSM leather, and so it's kind of, and so they were saying like it's kind of tasteless, like they're
And one of them, he had a mouth gag. A bear had like a mouth gag.
Yeah, it's this one over here, the blue one. You can't really see it that well, and I don't think you can. Hold on, let me see if I can zoom in on it.
He's wearing like the what is it from South Park? The Mr. Slave.
Yeah, he's wearing the
gimp suit.
Yeah, the gag. And so they're trying to say like this is tasteless. You have children with stuffed animals who are in BDSM like wear, and so fashion. Oh wait, shit! All right, people aren't even seeing what we're saying. All right, my bad.
Please don't show them.
No, they have to see this. All right, is that it?
That one's it.
That's it. All right, cool. All right, but yeah, so obviously this is really messed up, right? Like they don't want them to, be looking at this, or like children with stuffed animals that have BDSM. And so like fashion companies do this all the time. They do like very controversial type of like, promo shoots and stuff like that. So
just to gain attention.
As messed up as that is, like, we get
bought
it.
One.
We get as messed up as it is, it's freaking badass. But part of that photo shoot was photo shoot papers. Let me look it up. Part of that photo shoot was like a stack of papers on the ground or on, I don't know where it was.
On the left, the one. Well, yeah, but also that one on the left.
Yeah, but where's the full picture? This one? Yeah, I think this is it. Okay. So it was like a purse with a bunch of papers all over the place. And one of the papers the paper that's actually showing text is a Supreme Court ruling on like, I don't know what it is.
Child pornography.
Yeah,
it's
it has
Supreme Court ruling on CP.
Yeah, like something that constitutes like online child pornography.
Yeah.
And so it's like very dark. Like not only do you have children holding like these very like, stuffed animals that have like a sexual innuendo to them, but there's a document of a Supreme Court ruling that deals with child pornography. So it's very, very perverted. And so people are obviously angry about it. Like this, this is like this goes more into the conspiracy that all these fashion, how do you say it? Like staples, like empires are like underground child porn rings. You know what I mean? Like underground pedophilia, like empires.
You've been checking out the You ever seen one of those Mouthy Buddha documentaries?
Absolutely not.
Okay. You said that. Okay, I thought you were gonna say yes, but
No, I don't know anything about it. So I'm not.
Christ, Mickey.
I'm not judging it when I'm saying
Have you
that.
seen one?
No.
Mouthy Buddha. But are you aware of the person or the entity known as Mouthy Buddha?
No.
So I'll just to spill the beans here. There's this guy. I assume he's a guy just because he's voicing and
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know. Maybe the guy narrating.
Did you just assume his gender?
Yeah, I guess I did. But I'm just saying that. So the narrator at least is male. Yeah. I don't know if Mouthy Buddha is male.
Okay.
Who's to say that the same entity?
Okay.
I don't know. Okay. All right. He basically starts the series off with a photo of Barack Obama and Anthony Bourdain at an international meeting the first time that they had opened up, I think like Thailand or Vietnam. I don't remember which country. And I'm sorry because from what you're about to hear, it's going to paint either one in a bad light. So, I don't mean to. But anyways, they were in this little ramen shop and they had, it was nefarious. Like it didn't look like anything weird, but it was this little piece of graffiti in the background of the photo. So I don't know who got the idea, but somebody took, because it was also in their language, so translated it into English, and it basically was like bhkids.com or something. It was like a website or a brand of children's content.
Yeah.
So he clicks the link, and then from there, a whole can of worms begins to reveal itself slowly over time, because he finds out that it's almost like like Disney XD or like Nickelodeon Junior. This is like their country's version of the kids Nickelodeon Junior, whatever, right? So it's just kids programming, but they also have memorabilia. Like you could buy Nickelodeon clothing, you could buy Disney clothes, right? They have Disney stores. So they also have clothing stores for BH kids, right? And no different than you want to just buy something for your kid. Cool. But then he starts looking into it further, and apparently on the website there is these hidden directories. Basically, if you search bhkids.com, it takes you to one web page. But if you searched bhkids.com / some other information that you shouldn't type in / you would get to these sites. Like it's in the same website, but they're now, instead of having the models be the little girls with like swimsuits, they're just naked. Like the little girls are just naked.
What the hell? Why'd you tell me that before I looked it up?
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm not saying. But that's what he found out, and he found out that other companies around the world were doing the same. Yeah. Where like you could type in certain additions on the web page, and you would have access to like I said, CP or even trafficking, and it didn't have to necessarily be small children. It could be women of all ages. But in this particular case, what he stumbled onto was a children's sex trafficking ring or something like that, something having to do with that. So now anytime you see like BH something, it's like,
it's like an insinuation.
It could be. You could. A reference. Yeah. Right. It could be. It could just be like by chance, but it also could be.
Yeah, like BH Photo. I love that website.
No, not BH Photo. Well, I mean, maybe. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
you don't even know anymore.
Okay. So let's tie this back.
BH Photo. It's exactly what you were talking about.
Let's tie this back in. So
Christ.
Julio was saying, no, not BH Photo. Well, I don't know.
I know. I just say no because I've shopped with them before. I would hate if they were somehow implicated in this, but I don't know, so I don't know. But I hope not. All right, that's fine. Going back to the main point. Now that you've seen this Balenciaga thing, or now that it's popping off, remember it was just a tweet. Some random person in the world noticed this on their own accord and tweeted, "Hey, are we not going to address that this is a weird photo shoot for X and X reasons," right?
Man, the internet's an awesome place.
Okay. Then people started to call out on it. And what you haven't said yet is that Balenciaga deleted their Twitter and Instagram. All of it. Everything. Why? Was it the day before the tweet? Or was it a few days after the tweet? You know what I mean?
Elon Musk.
But they did spin it and blame it on him. And sure, plausible deniability. Maybe that is exactly why.
Maybe.
I don't know. But here's what I was saying, and this is where a few of our friends, other guys in the group that have seen the Mouthy Buddha stuff, here's what I was saying.
Wait, what's the name of the guy again?
Mouthy, and then Buddha.
Oh, okay, never mind. I'm
Buddha,
sorry.
Mouthy Buddha. But anyway, some of the other people that have seen it, we've been talking, and I guess what I had thought was, I wonder if this was a photo shoot for one of those additional web pages, the one that isn't just on the regular web page.
There was an accident.
Right. And then what if somebody just decided to leak the screenshot, or even the guy who tweeted it? What if he had access and he's like this, like an anti-hero, you know, like willing to out and bring something to light that wasn't supposed to, you know, but on the inside, because how would you even know?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There's layers to this bullshit. And again, could all be conspiracy. Who knows? Pie in the sky.
I love it.
But at the same time, you got to subscribe to some sort of, someone that doesn't believe in any conspiracy theories, I find suspect.
Yeah.
I find
Boring.
suspect and boring.
Yeah.
2 cents. There it is.
Like, so here's the thing about me is to where, like, I really,
There's evil out there.
I don't know where I stand with this. I really don't. Like,
There is evil out there. There for sure is.
So there was this whole backlash with Kim Kardashian because she promoted Balenciaga.
Okay.
And at the same time that she promoted Balenciaga, just a few weeks previously, she had condemned, almost like throwing shade at Kanye West. She had condemned all prejudice against like the Jewish people and stuff like that because of what Kanye West said. And so people were pushing her that like, well, you spoke out against discrimination against Jewish people. Why don't you speak out against Balenciaga because they child pornography, all this stuff. Okay, Balenciaga. Okay, I misspelled it. Okay, and so because I'm discussed by it, right? Okay. And so she actually did. She actually did come out and condemn, or like speak against at least and say that she was where it took. Oh no, that's not right. That's the same thing. I've been quiet for the past few days, not because I haven't been disgusted and outraged by the recent Balenciaga campaigns, but because I wanted an opportunity to speak to their team to understand for myself how this could have happened. And where's the next one? She continues on it. Hold on, let me see.
She knew. Everybody knew.
Well, obviously, yeah. Okay, all right. Oh, this freaking video. Oh wait. Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, there's a lot of talk that like a lot of these people are even the result of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've heard that Nicole Kidman was raised in this sort of a cabal and is the product of it. And is why she plays the lead role in Eyes Wide Shut, which is a movie about secret sex cabals. And it happened to be the last movie Kubrick ever directed before his untimely death. Coincidence? I don't know.
Conspiracy.
That's definitely a coincidence. All right, let's look at the actual tweet so that way.
Damn, we're deep diving. Oh, hold on. Click on those pictures.
Come on, dude. I'm trying to do something. Okay. I appreciate Balenciaga's removal. Let me zoom in a little bit. All right. I appreciate Balenciaga's removal of the campaigns and apology. In speaking with them, I believe they understand the seriousness of the issue and will take the necessary measures for this to never happen again. As for my future with Balenciaga, I am currently reevaluating my relationship with the brand, basing it off of their willingness to accept accountability for something that should have never happened to begin with, and the actions I am expecting to see them to take to protect children. Okay, here's the thing. Like, I'm totally on the side to where this could be a huge conspiracy. There could be like, some underground fashion.
How many dolls did they sell?
Like sex pedophilia ring. But I was telling Priscilla the other day that I actually like the way that they handled this. There was the company who did the photo shoot.
Yeah.
And so now they're doing a lawsuit against the company.
Oh, shit.
And the company's fighting back like, hey, you knew about this, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. And so they're actually putting it on paper, like,
It's another FTX thing.
Following through with the lawsuit that like, hey, we were totally deceived, all this stuff. And at the same time, Kim Kardashian's coming out and she's speaking, against it. So they're all doing the right things. But, I could see where this could be a conspiracy. I could see where,
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
too much subliminal, messaging.
Like somebody, like Julio said, it wouldn't have gone out if somebody wouldn't have been like, hey, nobody's noticed this.
Like
again, this is like, so that was the first episode, mind you. So the Mouthy Buddha thing is like a whole 5-6 part series. I haven't kept up with it too much.
Yeah.
I've watched the first 2 or 3. Let me say that it ends with this. Remember I told you about that photo of Barack Obama and Anthony Bourdain? That's what set it off.
Yeah.
Well, the whole conspiracy part is that this was to endorse the opening of the country to foreign visitors. A la services the country can provide to foreign visitors.
Wait, what country are we talking about?
Again, look up the photo. Just look up Barack Obama and Anthony Bourdain.
You think that's why he
eating? Because then there's the whole thing that came after with the Pizzagate bullshit, and all this came after.
Restaurant?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Anthony Bourdain would be at a restaurant.
Photo. You need a photo.
Photo.
It doesn't remember where we're at. Okay.
That
images.
one, the on the left. On the left.
This one?
Yeah.
All right.
It's the red word, whatever red word that is above his head.
That is pretty crazy. It's like, all right, hold on. Let's see. Anthony Bourdain, he made this little. Okay. Oh, yeah, that is kind of okay.
And that's what I'm saying. So, like, the whole thing is that the picture itself is just really unassuming.
Yeah.
It's just 2 dudes eating. There's nothing weird about it.
Yeah.
Other than that piece of text. And it's when you put the piece of text in that becomes the piece of the puzzle you need.
Yeah.
But again, the article that it came out with is just to promote the opening of the country to foreign visitors.
Wait, what are they saying that? Oh, I just realized people aren't seeing what we're seeing. I freaking hate that, dude. I keep freaking. I'm sorry. All right, which one is it? This one.
That one.
That one. Okay. All right. Yeah. So it's this little text right here.
Yeah. And that text is what sent this guy Mouthy Buddha on his chase. Or rather, it's the first piece of evidence that he presents to the audience as a possibility.
Do you remember what it says exactly?
No.
Ah, damn. Okay.
No, you'd have to refer back to the documentary.
Okay.
But to say that is where it started.
Yeah.
And it goes way further. Like I remember. Okay, so this other thing that it talks about is like Tom Hanks. Calling out Tom Hanks. It calls out Tom Hanks is like one of these things. Yeah. And he basically says that Tom Hanks has an Instagram that's devoted to finding lost pieces of clothing.
I saw that as well.
So like he goes to a city, he finds like a glove on the street. He tries to match up the glove with whoever owns the glove. Hey, you lost a glove. Hey, you lost a shoe. Hey, you lost a sock. Well, apparently this is supposed to be the way to signal that the person is pimping out a little kid. Hey, I found a lost shoe. Wherever the person who owns the other shoe is, when they meet, that there begets the business transaction. Because that's how you figure these things out. So that this whole thing about lost and missing gloves is like, a front, some sort of child pedophile, thing. And I love Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump's one of my favorite movies. You think I want this to be true? I mean, this is one of the ones that I hope is not. But at the same time, it's just the way he strings it all together. It makes it make so much sense. Which is any good documentary is going to do that. So, take it with a grain of salt.
Was it a glove or a shoe?
It's both.
But
in the Conan interview, he talks about the gloves.
But in the picture that you're directly referencing,
it's also a glove.
Okay.
I don't think it's shoes, but it could be shoes. The thing is, this is to say that around the world you'll find posts about missing shoes, missing gloves, missing things, and when somebody's trying to find the pair, that's how you find someone who's looking for CP or sex trafficking, and the person who will supply you with the thing you want.
But the reason why they're saying that, wasn't it because there was a picture with the symbol next to it or something?
Yeah, it was another symbol. And
which photo was it? I'm trying to find that.
I don't fucking remember.
All right, never mind.
Okay?
Forget
Just
it.
to be clear, I don't remember. It's been a while.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Okay, but that's another one of the evidences that he presents as far as there being this, backroom deals that are being done and how are they being done. Another one was the Pizzagate thing, and I keep saying the Pizzagate, but you guys remember that, right? Where there was like Congressman Anthony Weiner. They found, and this was for a different reason. It's because he was cheating on his wife. So for a divorce proceedings, they needed to gain access to his work laptop just to see if he was screwing around. Well, what they found were a bunch of emails and messages going back between members of the Senate talking about orders of pizza, things that are like, oh, I want the same hot dog that Obama ordered last year. I want a pizza, hold the pepperoni. And apparently these are all ways to talk about the kind of sex trafficking that you want done. And they just describe it in this way that doesn't seem like it's, bad, But it is. And so part of the whole thing when people talk about Pizzagate conspiracy has to do with this laptop that was found with all of these conversations about with people of power that are pretty much explaining how they're all into diddling little dudes and little kids. You know what I mean? Not little dudes, little kids, children. It's effed up. It's effed up. But that's another one of the episodes of the Buddha. I'm telling you, it's a whole series. Yeah. You'd have to dedicate a couple of hours to it. Yeah. And here's the thing about information. Information is neither good nor bad. Your stance on information that you intake is either good or bad. But you can't blame the info. Even if it's poppycock. Even if it doesn't stand for anything. You should have the ability to discern for yourself what is true or not true. I hold you accountable to that as a viewer and a thinking person.
Yeah, and so, like, for me, I approach any conspiracy theory, like, that's why it's called a conspiracy theory, you know what I mean? It could be true. It could be possible. It could be, like, all of those spaces in between could be filled with, yes, they're all interlinked. Yeah. I don't know. How do you feel about the whole Pizzagate? Not only Pizzagate, but the whole like child pornography ring.
I don't know, man. Like it's like people in power have people in power. Who's to say what they can and can't do?
I think they can do a lot.
What do you mean about people in power? Who are you talking about?
Like like politicians and everybody.
Okay. For example, the Queen recently passed away, right? Yeah. You remember there was the during the funeral proceedings when she's being paraded to her final resting place.
I didn't watch her funeral proceedings.
I understand that. But you're aware that there were funeral proceedings, correct?
I'd assume so.
Okay. So part of that was transporting the body from where it was autopsied or preserved to where she ended up. Yeah. Okay. That was a national parade going through the streets where the citizens could be there to watch the procession. No different than we did for Lincoln, other presidents, JFK. Okay. There was one little redhead dude. I mean, not little. He's probably taller than I am. But he yelled into the crowd as her son, Prince Andrew, walked by. You're a sick man, Andrew. And just basically because he is a known diddler and, calling him out for being a sick individual, right? Well, he was fucking arrested, taken out of the crowd, pushed, like literally assaulted by bystanders. Yeah. And then arrested by the cops for just saying what is true. And what I'm saying is, again, it would be easy to say, man, I wish that this isn't true, or who knows if it's true. But it is known that he was a friend of Epstein. Yeah. And they got up to no good. And that went straight to the royal family of England. It was a direct line of fuckery to royalty. So, like, if it's possible with the most well-known royal family in the whole world, then it's possible for any Joe Schmo to be caught up in this. You know what I mean?
Well, it's possible for anybody to be caught up in.
Yeah, that's right.
Like here's the thing. Like, I live in the world to where, or not that I live in the world, right? But like, this is the same thing to where I talked about. What the hell's what the hell's her name? It was that court case where the guy was convicted guilty of killing his wife, his pregnant wife, but now that some of the details have come out, now we don't even know like whether he was actually guilty or not. I talked about it last time.
It wasn't the one with he had daughters, where he killed him and his daughters.
No, he never. Oh, Chris Watts. No.
Yeah,
yeah, that's a good story.
Most times when dudes off themselves, they'll also off their family. It's called family annihilation. Like it's a real thing.
Oh, there's a word for it.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Familial annihilation.
Wow, that's Chris Benoit.
It's because they feel useless, but they also want to feel so useful that without them, you can't exist. So it's like to show how useful. You know what I mean? Like it's
You're
a weird.
with me.
Yeah, it's this weird thing.
Yeah.
But it happened in our hometown, but last year. Do you guys remember that?
Oh wait, hold on, give me a second. No, I don't remember that at all.
So it was in San Benito, our hometown, like on 281 where Edward lives, but on the other side.
Okay.
And it was an older man. He was already in his 70s, and he was terminal, so he was going to pass away.
Yeah.
He had an elderly wife, and she was sickly, but I don't think she was dying. But his daughter was severely mentally disabled. So he shot his daughter, shot his wife, and then shot himself. Just kind of wrapped it all up. That's a family annihilation. Where I kind of like also am thinking about is like, clearly in that situation, you just got to let the state handle it. Like you would die when you died, your wife would die when she died, your daughter. It would just play out that way. But also I'm kind of thinking about it from his perspective, like, what would have happened after he died? Not like the wife would have been able to support that situation. The daughter couldn't work.
Where are you going with this?
I'm just like, where are you like in your head that you're gonna do this? You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
so maybe
where is
his-
it in any guy's head that he's gonna do this and this is the right answer?
Okay.
And where I'm trying to get to is like, I think he just thought that when he was gone, literally in this situation, how would they go on?
Okay.
And that forced him to make that wrong decision. Wrong decision.
No, I get you. I'm
Okay.
Mickey's like, so you're saying it's the right decision?
No. I see where he's coming from. He's not saying it's right. He's saying he understands what the guy may have thought.
I wanted to understand.
Yeah.
And the best thing that I could kind of get my mind around was this idea that, well, what would they do realistically after I'm gone?
It's possible that he could have understood it that way, and that's how he justified it.
That was
in
how
a sense.
he's like, he came this like to.
Because it wasn't the situation like we said with that other guy, Chris Watts, where the girls were young. They're children. You know, he killed children. This lady was already in her 50s. His wife was in her 70s.
Yeah.
This is at the end of the rainbow. So, either way, I digress, but that was my point.
Okay. Okay. It was the Scott Peterson case, like to where he was cheating on his wife, and he hid it. And even after she went missing, he pretended to his the woman he was cheating with. He pretended that like nothing. He was still pretending he was single. He was still pretending he was on the other side of the world, and so it looks incriminating. Like this guy's killing his wife to start a new life with this other woman, and he's still keeping up the lie, pretending like everything's fine with this other woman. So it looks horrible on his side, and so he's convicted guilty. He goes to jail for the rest of his life. And when you look at the actual evidence against him, it almost looks like the evidence is going contrary to where like it doesn't look like he really killed her. You know, like there's a lot of evidence both ways. There's evidence that he killed her. There's evidence that he didn't. And both of them look incriminating, or both of them look convincing.
Yeah.
And so it's to where there's a bunch of holes, right? The truth, the objective truth is that we don't know. We have no idea whether he did it, whether he didn't do it. You know?
This is pre-smartphone, if I remember, right? We were kids. We were like 12,
It was
11.
a long time ago, yeah.
So it was almost 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
Just for anyone listening right now.
Yeah.
Because I remember that too. I remember the case. I mean, it's already been in movies. I remember Dean Cain played him in a movie, right?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So-
I haven't even seen that movie,
It's,
but
it's
yeah.
been already fictionalized. But yeah, that's why we seriously don't know, is because even to just put it out there, it was before smartphones. So he just didn't know, you know?
And so this is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that there may be a pedophile ring out there. You know what I mean? It may be all interconnected. But like really what it comes down to is we don't know. You know, there's all these holes in between. It's like a house of cards. It's to where like any side could crumble really quickly. There's holes in every side to where like we're trying to connect all of these things to where like, oh, it's really an overarching like pedophile ring. And maybe it's just Epstein. You know what I mean? Maybe he was just the one that
He was just the bad guy.
and maybe Prince Andrew just wanted to bang a chick. You know what I mean? Maybe he would have done the same thing with an,
Oh, okay, yeah.
like maybe he just didn't want it. Like this chick looks
Guilty by association.
This chick-
you
this
say
chick-
that, but no, I'm not gonna let him off the
Wait,
hook.
hold on.
because no.
Hold on. Let me, okay. So and maybe like this chick looks of age. I'm not gonna ask any questions. You know what I mean? Like I don't.
Questions? What are you talking about?
Look, Julio, listen to what
I
I'm
understand
saying.
you're saying you're
Yeah.
playing devil's advocate, but I'm
Yeah.
saying no. Even where you're going, no. Like
Look,
there should be questions asked. Anyone you stick your dick in, there should be questions asked.
Look, you're making okay. So that's why you're saying he should do something. Julio, the way that you live your life day to day, there's people that say, well, Julio, you should do this. You should do that. You know what I mean?
Granted.
Like that's the most primal thing in a man's in a man's like psyche is to where like, he wants to get laid, you know? And so like, dude, if this chick looks of age, like I'm not thinking about.
I don't agree with this.
Am I saying that I'm agreeing with this? Am I saying that this is right?
I mean, you're arguing for it. So I
Oh
don't know.
my God. Julio, I'm trying to make the same
Get
case.
to the point, Mickey.
I'm trying to make the same case that you were making.
Okay.
To where like you're not saying that guy's psyche was okay for killing his wife.
Right.
But you're trying to
Okay,
understand
sure,
where they're
sure.
coming from. That's
Sure.
why. And so it's
But isn't that like that's for me? That's the lowest hanging fruit. Like I'm so stupid. I didn't know she wasn't old enough.
you could make the
like-
same argument for the case that you're making for that guy killing himself.
I know. I get that.
Yeah.
And I did do that.
Okay.
I did. So to that point, I respect you playing devil's advocate, and I recognize you're doing it. However, in the way it plays out in real life, there's no outs. You fucked up. You're fucking done.
Look, Julio, I'm on your side.
All right, I get it.
There's you have sex with an underage girl. Yeah, you messed up. Like I'm on your side. You messed up. If you kill someone, you messed up. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
you do anything, you messed up.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to say we're on the same side here. Yeah.
I know. I just
Yeah.
I don't need. It's like, it's just the one thing for me where it's like, I don't know. Like, let's not even skirt around the edges. Like, there's no skirting. There's no gray area. Right?
I'm not trying to skirt around that. What I'm trying to say is that, like, okay, I'm trying to understand where this person may become. He may not.
Best case scenario. I agree with you. Best case scenario. It was a complete mistake the first time.
Okay, look, or the.
You know what I mean? Come on, man.
Julio, I feel like, dude, you're the one making my case to begin with, and the fact that you're trying to like deviate from it, like the first time, the second time, whatever time, dude. If you
I'm
get
just trying to come up with some content, bro.
okay, Julio, if you hired a prostitute,
Yeah.
would you like ask for ID?
She has
Yeah.
to have be.
I mean, yes,
legally.
objectively, yes.
Okay, all right. You'd ask for ID.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Whatever.
Come on.
You wouldn't just
What are you
assume because
doing?
she's a prostitute that she's of age?
No.
No.
All right, look, I agree. I agree with you. Obviously, well, do you know?
So
I don't
look,
even
you-
agree with you because I wouldn't even hire a prostitute.
Have you ever hired a
That's what I'm
prostitute?
saying.
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
They check your dick at the red light district. You know?
Okay.
You gotta. I'm just saying, like, it just doesn't make sense. That's where it's like in my head, it just doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. It's like, what do you mean you don't? What do you mean? Like, how could that happen?
So
You feel
there's
like you
nothing-
just trip and fall into a vagina, and you just I didn't know.
So there's nothing you've done like towards women to where you would just say like, okay, that was really, really stupid.
No, and like, even as we're getting older, okay, this
Yeah.
was something I was telling my buddy. It's like, it's crazy when you're 15. Not that you could hit on every woman, but you could hit on every woman, right? Like, it's not
Yeah.
your. And then you get older, and it's like, I mean, every year there's less chicks that we should be hitting on. You know what I mean? Like, I think of someone that's 20. Why? From a just why?
Yeah.
You're at different points in life. it's like, why wouldn't you just why wouldn't you be thinking on that line?
Like,
This
let's
isn't
say,
appropriate.
Let's say, for example, okay, we're at a bachelor party, we're friends.
Yeah.
I hire a bunch of prostitutes to take care of all of you guys.
Yeah.
You're saying you'd ID them.
Yeah, every single one.
Okay,
You know for a fact you wouldn't ID them, Julio.
Here's
I know
what-
for a fact you wouldn't ID them. I'm not saying whether it's right or
Right,
wrong.
that'd be
No, I
unexpected
understand,
that-
but I would be having conversations, and I would no. Look, you obviously would talk to them. I would say something to them, and it would just have to be like one of these things where you need to know.
Mickey said it, he's hiring prostitutes.
What are you gonna talk?
Look, I'm most surprised about that part
What are you
because he's
gonna
not
talk
that good a
about?
friend. But even if I were to think he was,
Mickey
okay,
wouldn't hire prostitutes.
That's it. Prostitutes for everyone. Oh shoot, wrong. Wrong sound effect. Prostitutes for
funny,
everyone.
dude.
I'm
That was
purchasing
fucking
prostitutes.
like you would just, I don't know, like ask about SpongeBob or just ask about something to where like it would date him, you know, like where you would have to show your age. I don't know that I would necessarily
only
make
quote
you ID.
TikTok.
That would be your determining factor. You talk to him about.
Yeah,
sex.
I don't know. That was a dumb. That was stupid. But you understand, like, you would have to steer the conversation in some way where you would just be knowing.
I wish I could rewind. Talk to him about SpongeBob.
Bro, maybe they don't know. That would be the biggest red flag. Like they don't even know. You know, I don't know.
Oh shit, Gasper! Hey, just in time, Gasper. We're talking about prostitutes.
Oh my god!
I don't know if you want to.
Mickey's gonna hire some.
I'm buying.
He's telling Mickey.
As long as you're buying, dude.
I'm down.
That's why, like, dude, you know, he didn't go to Epstein's Island as a complete stranger. He was close with them already. You know what I mean? And so, like, hey, I'm buying prostitutes all around. He's not gonna ask questions. I don't know. But
What the? That's my exact fucking point.
Wait, hold on. You're yelling. Sorry. All right, what I'm trying to say, that's one end of the spectrum, which is totally viable.
Ask questions.
It's totally viable. And then there's another end of the spectrum to where maybe he's just a pedophile. Maybe he's like, hey, do you have any younger ones? Like, do you have any, you know,
That's
ones that
the
are-
other thing.
Do you have any ones that are like really young? So that's another end of the
Does that make me a better person that I would just
No,
accept
you ever,
that
you
that's
ever,
what happened?
you
and,
remember
like,
you
giving
ever
him the
see,
benefit?
You're saying
you ever see, Only
Wait.
God Forgives?
No.
You remember that one?
Wait, hold on. Let me finish the point really quick. So you're saying, like, does that make you a worse person or a better person or whatever, that you would accept that that's what happened? And that's exactly the point I was trying to make with the Scott Peterson case, to where what the reality is, this is the reality. We don't know, but there's some people who will draw a line in the sand. He killed her. Yeah. He's the murderer. We have everything we need to, like, you know, that he's guilty. The other people to where he's innocent. They have zero evidence. They have zero this and that he did it. You know what I mean? And all I'm trying to say is that the reason why I'm trying to defend freaking this pedophile is allegedly is because I'm trying to stand on we don't know. We really don't know. There's convincing evidence on each side. And so, like, that's totally viable to where, like, hey, you're paying for prostitutes? I'll take it. You know what I mean? And it's totally viable to where, like, hey, do you have any that are, you know, young?
Stop, Mickey.
See, that's the thing. I don't mind that you're paying for prostitutes. I mind that you're paying for underage
legal prostitutes.
anything.
Julio, I mind too. What the hell are you talking
I
about?
don't know. It doesn't sound like
Listen to what I'm saying.
We're listening to what you're saying. I don't
That's
like
what I'm
it.
saying. Listen, what I'm trying to say is that, like, I'm not putting my foot down on any of those scenarios as far as, like, you know, anything as far as, like, the pedophile ring, all this stuff. Look, if there is a like everything else, if there's a murder weapon, if there's DNA evidence, if there's all these things directly linking, you know, intent, like they knew what they were doing, all this stuff, that's where I'm going. That's where I'm putting my, like, foot in the ground. But anything aside from that, like, I think that makes the difference of a conspiracy theory, you know? And so it's fine to, like, I just want to, you know, it's possible both ways, you know? That's all I'm saying. I'm not making a strong conviction. I'm doing the opposite. I'm trying to say, like, well, maybe he's a pedophile. Or, like, maybe he likes little kids.
Maybe.
Is that reasonable to say?
Yeah.
That's it. You're not allowed to finish that sentence. You took too long.
He's stuck. He's stuck now.
Oh, you're stuck, Julio. What?
He's a fucking pedo. All right. I don't know what you fucking want me to say.
Oh shit, wrong one. Shit, man, I'm on the wrong freaking.
No, it almost
All right,
appropriate.
you know that's it. We decided he's a pedo.
All right. There it is.
Give it up for pedophiles, ladies and gentlemen.
And specifically for Prince Andrew, because I know I'm raking him over the coals here, but specifically for him, which is why I'm being a stickler about him playing devil's advocate. Why I won't specifically for this instance not allow it is because the person in court who testified against him, her age now, for her to have been involved in the case at all, but her age now is like she's 34, and these were for incidents happening in 2002. By virtue of math alone, how is somebody of that age able to afford a flight from the UK to the fucking Caribbean?
I saw the same thing that you saw, and I agree 100%. I agree that she was underage.
Yeah.
But, like, if you look at that, and look, I'm not trying to defend him at all. I'm trying to live on that island to where, not Epstein's Island. Not Epstein's Island. Wait, let me make it clear. I'm not trying to live on
Okay,
Epstein's
this
Island.
is making a lot of sense. Making a lot more sense.
Jesus Christ.
What I'm trying to say is that, like, maybe he likes little girl. Maybe he knew that she was underage. Also, if you look at that picture with him and her,
Yeah.
she could be 19 for all we know. She could be 20 for all we know. You know what I mean? Like, Priscilla looked fucking 13 when she was 21. Which makes me feel very uncomfortable now that I mention it.
This is not helping.
I don't like little girls. Listen.
Mickey, you suck.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. Mickey.
What was that website you said? BH?
We gotta stop while we're ahead, baby.
Yeah, I swear I'm not a pedophile. I was just... What I'm trying to say is in that picture that, you know, that he was with her, like,
You're
at that time.
about the plausible deniability.
I believe he had sex with her. I believe that she was underage at the time. But, like, he's proposing that he had no idea, or he's proposing that he didn't even have sex with her, which I don't believe. He might have not, but I don't know. But he's trying to say, you know,
Like, at the very least, I'll accept that he may have groomed her, that the moment she turned legal, jumped on the bones. But that is the very most virtuous thing I would say.
wait, well, let's make it clear that for a fact, even by her own testimony, he didn't groom her. She didn't have a relationship with him personally. She only had a relationship through Epstein, and Epstein was the one who would bring her about.
No, but she
and all
was
this-
groomed, just not by him.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and I'm saying the very most virtuous thing I would allot to him.
Yeah.
Is that it'd be possible he did that much. But I don't think he did.
But not Prince Andrew, right?
Yeah, no, I'm talking about him.
You're talking about Prince Andrew? Did Prince Andrew groomed her? By her own testimony, Prince Andrew didn't...
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're not understanding what I'm saying.
Clarify.
To clarify, you said, like, what's the most benefit of the doubt I would give Prince Andrew?
Yeah.
That he did only groom her up until it was time to whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I know it's not true. But that's as far a leash as I'll give him.
But by her own testimony...
And I understand.
So why would you even consider that if even by the victim's testimony, he didn't groom her? Like,
Again, it's a miscommunication. I think when you listen back to the episode, you'll see what I'm trying to say.
But the way that she speaks about Chris Andrew, she didn't have a relationship with with Prince Andrew. Yeah. So how could he have groomed her?
One more time. Hypothetically speaking,
Okay.
the most leeway I would give him
It's something that's not possible at all by her own.
happened. Yeah, irregardless of fact, I just would give him as much leash that maybe he wasn't such a bad guy to have done it.
Okay.
Maybe he was such a bad guy that he would groom people until it was time that it was legal for him to do anything. But I don't believe that's what he did. But that's the most that I would say he's a good person. Because okay, as far as like a spectrum of how shit a person you could be, there's a person who grooms someone till they're legal.
Yeah.
And there's someone who just does what they do regardless of how old they are, right?
Yeah.
Okay, saying I would most likely say that that's as good as person as he is. That's still not a good person.
Okay.
But that's the most leeway I give him.
That he had sex with her without knowing,
and not just her specifically, because as you've pointed out
sex with
4
anybody
times,
not knowing how old she is.
You understand how I'm just talking about his behavior sexually, not his behavior with her.
Yeah.
You think I'm talking about his behavior with this specific woman, and I'm not.
Well, because you said her.
Yeah, her.
Yeah.
Hypothetically.
Okay.
And you know what? Not even her. The other her. The other her.
Okay.
And the other her. Any her.
Any her.
You see?
Any her.
Damn, that's a lot.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We were talking about different things.
Okay.
You were talking about that.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Clarify your point.
That was my point. Clarified.
Okay. So do you think it's possible at all that, and honestly, I'm tired of playing devil's advocate because I really don't want to defend
You are
Prince
the
Andrew.
devil.
I give less of shit about Prince Andrew. But like, do you think it's possible at all that maybe he just had sex with the prostitute that what's his fucking
Could be
name?
possible.
That what's his fucking name?
Epstein.
That Epstein hired and not give a shit how old she, or like not even think about how old she was. Is that possible at all? Is there any world?
Maybe.
Answer the question.
Yeah, I do think he's that negligent.
Okay, that's
I think it's more than negligence.
Oh, okay.
There's like a whole thing about his wife.
That's fine. I'm not here to defend Prince Andrew. Let me make that clear.
You've been doing it for 20
That's all.
minutes.
That's all I'm trying to point out. That there is a world to where that. Yeah, maybe it was negligence. I'm just trying to put out the spectrum and not just put my foot too or put that line in the sand too much at one spectrum. That's all I'm trying to say. And I'll do that with anything if there's not clear equivocable evidence to the contrary. You know, and I think that's the sword, or what's it called? The sword we should all die on. That.
Yeah.
I think that's fair, right? That's fair.
I don't think it's fair.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Whatever. Do you know? Honestly, I could give less of a shit about Prince Andrew, so I don't even want to defend him anymore.
I don't know why you're defending him.
I'm not defending him.
Like, it's a good bit, but let's move on.
Yeah, and like this is something that I talked to Sam and Monica about recently. To where, here's the thing: like we all know, like you could go into any type of courtroom, like if somebody killed somebody, somebody broke the law somehow, and we could see that okay, this person's guilty. We just know the way the type of person they are. You know, they have the motive. And it just seems right that they're guilty. Yeah. And so we can have that conviction that they're guilty. But I would, for somebody to, like, let's say that guy who shot up the elementary school, how could the lawyer live with themselves knowing that they're defending somebody who shot up, killed a bunch of children?
Because you're not guilty until you're proven guilty.
Yeah, but that's why, so we have footage and all that stuff of him killing the children
Allegedly.
Yeah, no. Okay, so I'm on your side with this. Okay, to where, why is that important that we keep it allegedly up until they have their day in court? Right. And I think that process is more important than than us having those convictions, us seeing them we saw him shoot those freaking kids, you know what I mean? And so that's what I'm trying to stay true to. I'm trying to stay true to there's some things that are great, greater and more good than let's kill this fucking guy. You know what I mean? And I think that what makes us a civilized society is that we hold back and we look at everything. We consider everything. We hear all arguments. We hear when we look at everything, and rely on only unequivocal evidence without a shadow of a doubt that the person's guilty before we hold them guilty.
Yeah.
And I think that's more important, and courts would obviously agree.
Would they?
Yeah,
or would they just want to fill up their quota for-profit prisons?
Right. Oh, maybe. But would that make it?
That wouldn't.
But would that make it right? Would that make it right?
No.
Exactly.
It's not right that it happens now.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, And that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that, like, with everything, it's important to, like, maybe that's more important than our own convictions, like actually having that standard of truth before we come to our own conclusions or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As something to aim for, yes. As something that you accept that it's something like, okay, it's what you're aiming for, but you would also have to admit that it doesn't happen.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah.
So that's where I have my little anger about it.
Yeah.
Which is like,
as you should, Julio.
I believe in this, but I also understand that this is all bullshit, and that's not how it works. I don't know how to like to
torture.
Make them make sense to each other, but it is how it goes.
I can use the restroom. Okay, I gotta go. Sorry, you guys.
Whoa. The
call
Mickey
it
G Piss Show.
I know.
Sorry, I gotta go somewhere.
It's all right. I need to do it. As soon as he comes back in, I'm out. So, tag team.
I'm already falling like, nah, I'm just kidding. Do you know what? Back to what you were saying though. Like,
What's up, bro?
I don't know. Like, it's just, it is what it is.
About like convictions and shit? Yeah, no, I mean, like, there's the idealistic view of what it would mean to be in America, to be an American, da 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 da. And then there's just what it actually is to be an American and to be living, surviving, working in America. Not at all the same thing.
Different, yeah.
Not at all. And then if you're well-to-do and if you're not well-to-do, two different worlds. But that's anywhere. That you can't put that at America's feet because that's any country or kingdom ever. Yeah. So it's not America's fault. I do praise the country for accomplishing what it has, because it's hard to keep the peace in any country. Yeah. And other countries get the benefit of them all looking the same. Most people in Germany, most people in Japan.
Yeah.
Right? Here it's this all melting pot, which means there's a lot of different views and takes and understandings. Cultures vying for who's the most important.
Yeah.
But I mean, the fact that they, us, we, I don't know, the royal we, that the country has managed it at least as well as it does, minus the police brutality. It's okay. It's pretty good. As opposed to what? That's the point.
Like where?
That's what I'm saying. Like, you ever heard of the I don't know if it was the Dreyfus case? I want to say it was the Dreyfus case. And this was like an old case from like France.
The Mickey G Piss Show.
Mickey G Piss Show.
Dude, I'm sorry, dude.
But there was this whole thing about, like, this was around the Napoleon times, where there was this the captain in the French army called Dreyfus, and he had worked his way up to being like in the top ranks of the military, but they wouldn't let him be like a field marshal or like a general because he was a Jew. So even though he presented himself as French, knew French, served in France, was born in France, he wasn't allowed to achieve higher levels of office purely because of his Jewish heritage. And so that was the big thing about like equality in the world at that time, 200 years ago. Now you could say that, at least by the rules of America, that shouldn't happen here, right? Anyone that is Jewish or anyone that is Catholic or anyone that's anything, and then even regardless of skin color, should be able to attain whatever level of government as long as the popular assembly of voters decides and by means of their electoral colleges decide that you're their candidate.
Yeah.
But is that what happens? No. And that's my point. Like, I think it's weird when you match up the idealistic view of what we should hold ourselves accountable to and where the line is that we actually hold ourselves accountable to. Like, yeah.
No, I agree with you 100%. And like, I don't mean to get so like religious with you guys, but I feel that I feel that same conviction with JB as far as his religion. He says no, I'm just kidding. But like, that's the whole Christian story, is that like we say we subscribe to this higher standard, this standard, this power apart from us. and yet we live a different way. And not only do we live a different way, but we don't even carry our like sometimes our actions even go contrary to our own beliefs. Like it's supposed to be, like we live through Jesus and we have faith in Jesus and everything we do, but we don't actually do, you know what I mean? We always try to take life into our own hands. We don't really always live life by faith through Christ, like it's so easy to just throw that all away and just live on our own accord, live on our own merit and live on our own stuff. And it's the same thing with everything. We're supposed to be law-abiding citizens. We're supposed to believe in the judicial system. We're supposed to follow the judicial system, and we never add up to it. Anytime there's a standard apart from ourselves, we never live up to it. We're always going to fall short.
Yeah, that's the sad part. That's humanity, though. That's what I was saying. You missed what I said a little bit earlier before you came in, which was like this missing of the mark that all people seem to do is also stretched out across time, because it's not America's fault that people don't do that. All people have done that. So whether you were a subject of the King of France, like we were talking about, or you were, in the Jewish communities of early Israel, or, prehistory, that I'm sure there was some symbolic meaning to life that they asserted to.
Yeah.
And then obviously you fall short because you're only human. So I understand it's not America's fault that this happens.
Yeah.
But it does get frustrating that we pretend that this is what we want, but then we don't do it.
Like, for example, is there any standards apart from you that you subscribe to that you don't always live up to? Apart from you?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, no,
it's a shorter list going the other way around.
Yeah, it's so typical, right? It's so typical that like we.
I say I'm gonna go work out. I ain't working out.
Damn it!
I know.
Oh, I felt that. Yeah, I felt that. Yeah, do you know? And it's like. It's typical, right? We're doing our best in this world. And that's why, like, I really don't feel, like, once again, I don't mean to turn this religious, but, like, when I first, what do you call it? Like, not converted to Christianity, but when I first, like, really, like, I guess, I don't know, came to have a relationship with God, that was one of the first things that I kind of identified with, that, like, do you know what? We're all just trying, you know what I mean? Yeah. We're all trying to figure out what this is all about. We're all trying to figure out what the truth is. We're all trying to figure out, what's going on underneath the hood. And we, everything apart from that, we're kind of, we're falling short of, Like I the whole time that I was pretending to be a Christian, I wasn't even doing a good job. You know what I mean? I wasn't even like remotely doing a good job. I wasn't even remotely following what I thought I was supposed to follow. And so it's a tough pill to swallow, It's a tough pill to swallow. And so like, I don't separate myself from like, and this is where I was talking to Priscilla about this earlier today. I don't want to relate to Kanye West. I really don't. Like, all the things he said were so completely horrific. Let me play some of the stuff he said, actually. Now that
you play it. I'll be right back.
Yeah, now that I have it, let me play some of the stuff. It's really bad. Like, to where I told Priscilla, do you know, I could agree with the sentiment that he's going towards, but like he's taking it a step like way too far, to where like I take things too far, like I say things that are like wrong and controversial, but damn, like Kanye West is really crossing the line, man. Like, I don't know if I can, stand by him.
You want to cross that line with him?
Here's the thing. I love crossing the line. I love like doing things that I'm not supposed to do and like offending people, in ways that I'm not supposed to do so. And with that being said, I, all right, hold on. Let me play some of the stuff he's saying. With that being said, I still wouldn't go along with the things that Kanye West, says or does or hold on. Let me show what's going on. Okay. All right. This is from Twitter. Credit to Right Wing Watch. This is where I'm getting all the footage from. So, okay. Let me mute that. All right. Kanye West just did an interview with Alex Jones, and weirdly enough, Alex Jones sounds like the same person in the group. All right. This isn't it. Okay. Oh shit.
See, you don't deserve to be called that and demonized.
Well, I see good things about Hitler also. I love everyone, and Jewish people are not going to tell me you can love
American History X.
Us, and you can love what we're doing to you with the contracts, and you can love what we're pushing with the pornography. But this guy that invented highways, invented the very microphone that I use as a musician, you can't say out loud that this person ever did anything good, and I'm done with that. I'm done with the classifications. Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler.
You're not Hitler.
All right, that's one thing.
Trip to meet with Nick and Yate. Okay. I had no idea your voice is going to sound like that, Netanyahu.
This is him making fun of Netanyahu. He has a net.
Nick and Yate.
And Yahoo.
Okay.
Little Nettie.
I had no idea your voice is going to sound like that, Netanyahu.
He has a net and Yahoo, and he's...
It was bad. It was bad for Trump to meet with Nick and Yate. Okay.
And he's making fun of Netanyahu. Okay, well, here it goes.
Which, by the way, not a great guy.
The Nazis, in my view,
I don't know anything about
that. A lot of really bad things.
But they did good things, too. We're going to stop dissing the Nazis all the time.
Okay. The most Nazi-like activity Nazi, so... I mean, I disagree with both statements, but I get the pros.
I don't like the word evil next to Nazis. I think we need to look at...
Oh, my goodness. Just because you don't like one group doesn't mean the other. Look,
I love Jewish people, but I also love Nazis.
Oh, man. Well, I have to disagree with that. Well, CNN says white people are evil.
Alex Jones sounds like the logical person in the freaking room. Alex Jones, who would have thought he could be so...
I get the Hugo Boss uniforms, amazing. But I mean, just because you're in love with the design, you're a designer. Can we just kind of say like you like the uniforms, but that's about it?
No, there's a lot of things that I love about Hitler. A lot of things.
I don't think Hitler was a good.
He kept going. Like that's why.
He doubled, tripled down.
Yeah, and the fact, like the way he said it too, like I love this.
A lot of things.
And it sounds so Alex Jones like totally convinced that Kanye West doesn't like Jews, and like, look, just because you have something against one person doesn't mean you have to like the Nazis. Yeah. And he's trying to say like, no, I love Jews, but I also love the Nazis. Like that's where I'm. Okay, here's the thing, like I don't even know how to say this, dude. Like to where it doesn't sound bad, but like as a Christian, you're supposed to love your enemies, right?
Sure.
And so that's why, like, even somebody like the Nazis, like, forgive them for they do not know what they do. You know, like they're so misled, they're so out in the world, just like I was before. Like I feel like God, revealed Himself to me. They're so on their own accord, and they're doing wrong in the world, and so in that way. Okay, look, they don't know their left hand from their right hand. You feel sorry for them, and they're doing all this, bringing all this evil into the world. God, forgive them. God, please love the Nazis. I get it. It's so human. Why are you looking at Julio? Why'd you look at Julio right now?
I have opinions.
That's why. Look, I feel you. Look, I feel you to where like I don't feel that way. I understand that, and here's where it's messed up.
I believe there's a hell.
Look.
I believe there's people that are going to burn in a certain hell.
Look. Look. Okay. Look. I understand that, and I also I understand forgiving the Nazis and like God, please love the Nazis, all this stuff. I understand that. Me, I also like personally like I'm on your side. I convict the Nazis. I convict anybody who like subscribes to evil, all this stuff, like burn in hell. You know, like die.
Again and again.
All I'm trying to do is like, you know, like maybe say, you know, one's. I don't know. What do you say? What do you say when like, okay, it's better to forgive than to convict in your own.
Well, if
like,
they have
heart and
remorse,
mind?
maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't even know if it's about that.
What would you say?
Remorse, and they'd have to do like.
I
they'd have to have a lifetime
I have
of getting back.
probably what is not in the way that I think, but nuts and bolts of it might be the most controversial take on this.
What makes it so controversial? Start with the controversial part and then work your way down.
I'm gonna preface and then I'll do that.
No.
Yeah, slight preface. No.
Start with the most controversial part
need to,
and then explain yourself.
No, because then I'm just Kanye. And
No. I want as little explanation as possible and then explain.
All right. So the thing is, I play this video game. It's called Total War. Okay.
Okay.
So in this game, you choose a team, right? Red, blue, green, whatever. But they're countries. Okay. So let's go through this one. The medieval one. Okay?
Is that the one you're trying to convince me to play? That takes
all
months?
the time, all the fucking time. That's diplomacy. It's a different game.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
This is a video game.
I'm sorry.
But like, again, let's just real quick. So you play Total War. Let's say you choose England. We've been picking on England all day, so let's just keep with it, right? Let's say you pick the Kingdom of England. Well, it'll give you a start date. So let's say it's like at the start of the Viking raids. Okay. So you have issues as your personal lead, as the leader of the English people. You're gonna have issues.
Okay.
The first issue, you're about to be invaded because in the video game the Vikings are coming. You're in that time.
Okay.
Okay. 2, the French don't like you. Okay. The Scottish don't like you. The Irish don't like you. The Welsh don't like. So you have all these enemies. You're beset by enemies, right? And you want to be a good king in the game. So what's one way that you know you're doing a good job? If you have more babies than people are dying. But that would mean your population grows. Well, what's one thing you're going to need if you have a growing population? Food. How do you get food? You need a farm. How do you farm? You need land that you can farm on. You need resources. You understand? So then in the course of the game, you're really trying to generate more resources for your people to spread your power. Because like we were talking about power earlier, right? Like a lot of things that people are doing, it doesn't matter about Democrat, Republican. It matters about power and how can I make my play.
All right.
Even money is just a reflection of power, right? But how can you attain the power? And people come up with almost infinite number of ways to do it.
I understand.
Okay, so what I learned playing this game that was something that I didn't think about beforehand, and again, this is about Nazis, but there's certain things that have to happen for your regime to work out.
Right.
However you want to tick that box, fine, but you have to do it.
You have to follow these certain moves.
Right. Like Russia figured out, so this is separate from England, right?
Sorry.
But like, let's talk about Russia. Russia found a way that if they're just super authoritarian, usually and across time, because you can go back 100 years, 200-300 years, Russia kind of the same authoritarian place that it is now that it was then.
Okay.
They believe in strong men, like leaders, and I don't mean like
I got you.
but the strong men leader idea. Okay. In England, they have a different way of doing it, but they still tick the certain boxes. Okay, so now what do I mean about Hitler and all this controversial bullshit? Okay, Hitler inherited an issue, inherited a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Love him or hate him, Karl Marx was alive and dead before Hitler was ever born.
Yep.
So the ideas of socialism and communism were already at play. Yep. In fact, it was the German Kaiserreich. It was the kings of Germany that essentially put the pamphlets of socialism into Russia, creating what was like an ideological time bomb. Because once this happened, they knew shit was going to pop off. What they didn't, I don't think, thought about is that what happens when there's a fire in your apartment building? It's a pretty good chance your apartment could get caught on fire too.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happened. They're both in Europe.
Okay.
So there was the spread of this communist ideology and then the reverberation of it when it's coming back after the Russians had the revolution. So the Germans were facing this weird political problem they were going to come into, which is that Russia's powerful again and they're coming for us. So a lot of times when you ask Nazis that were Nazis what they're up to, they're telling you not anything about the Americans. They're saying we were a bulwark against the Russian invasions and the communist invasions. So they thought they were being good guys.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Peterson makes this point that like, you probably don't think so, but you probably would have been a Nazi. Like the ability of all people to just go against the grain, most people wouldn't do that. Most people are just going to do what their dads did or their uncles did or their brothers did, their best friends did. They're going to be coerced socially into that programming.
Yep.
And to say that you're the one individual that just knew better when everyone else is throwing themselves off the bridge, I know you would love to say that you would, but you probably wouldn't.
Right.
Okay, so let's just keep that on the back burner. And also we were talking about why Hitler would do what he wanted to do. He wanted to keep resources for his people. What he saw as his people.
Yeah.
And he found means that justified his end. This is where me and him ideologically separate, because me personally, I don't think that it was right to do the whole Holocaust thing.
Right.
To whatever extent, some people argue that it didn't happen the way it did. Some
what about
people,
to a little bit of an extent? To
any extent, yeah,
to
like
dehumanize
literally,
Jews.
the idea that you're gonna do it to dehumanize is where you lose me.
Exactly.
Personally, you've lost me. But in wanting to accomplish an end, and that you deciding that this is the way that you can do it, and then he did it. I really find a lot of parallels between him and Putin. You know, the invasion of Ukraine is more about border patrol resources than a lot of other things.
Yeah.
With Ukraine as a sovereign nation separate from Russian governmental policies, that's 2,000 miles of open border.
Wait, hold on. Wait. What were we originally talking about?
I'm talking about why would Hitler do what he's doing?
Okay. Yeah.
And now I'm saying,
Yeah.
if you don't believe that, what I just presented is like there's certain things countries have to do to keep themselves.
Well, I do believe that.
Okay. But for the listener that doesn't.
Okay.
So now this next bit is for the listener that doesn't.
We're gonna give it on Russia.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's just say.
Can we just stick with
No, because now I'm talking about a modern context.
All right.
All right. In a modern context, Putin is doing the exact thing that Hitler did.
Okay.
What is a way I can become more powerful and make my people more powerful?
Yeah.
There's like 5 different ways you can do it. Then somewhere in there's a line drawn, because we've been talking about lines people draw.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there, arbitrarily, there's a line drawn between good and bad.
Yeah.
And to some people, the line is a moving line, and to some people, it's a very hard line, but there's a line that people draw.
Yeah.
Now, just because it's on the other side of that good or bad line doesn't mean it's not an option that's available for you to gain more power.
Yeah.
So some people just decide to push that button or to choose that course of action regardless of the toll or the pain or the suffering.
I agree.
So what Hitler did was he, again, in his mind, for the benefit of his people, enacted policies that were bad for the minorities of his state, but better for the majority of the ethnic people that he considered sovereign citizens of his realm, his Reich. Was that good or bad? No, it was bad. It was fucked up. Again, rotten hell, die. But why do people do it? Why does anybody do it? And it's that eternal struggle for wanting to attain,
right?
And then you finding any way to justify that you could do it, and then doing it. So was Hitler a bad guy? Yes. Why would he do it? And then why would I even think that Kanye would even say stuff like that? Was because he was acting from a basis of like, it has to happen. You know, if Hitler didn't start the war in Poland, then Russia would have annexed all of Poland. And if they had annexed all of Poland, they would have been on their border.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the point Kanye was making.
No, but he's saying that there's good things he did and there's bad things he did.
Yeah.
And my controversial take
we wouldn't be here without it.
My controversial take is, look, he's not wrong if what he's saying is the way Germany looks and the way it's shaped and what we know as German, had Hitler not started a Second World War, I don't think it would have looked like that.
I don't think that was the point he was making at all. I think
is there good things that you can do, even if what you're doing is bad? there's good ramifications
Yeah.
of what he
No,
did, even
yeah.
if what he did was completely bad.
Yeah, like if they make and so I forgot what his name was, but he was saying like, okay, so in what's the biggest German camp that they had? Auschwitz. So if Auschwitz made a good soup, that wouldn't change that. Like it's still Auschwitz. You know what I mean?
Right.
If they fed everyone with a really good soup, it wouldn't. It's still bad.
No, if they like served a soup that was the same recipe that they used from.
If they served a soup that was a
back in
badass
the
soup
day.
that was like, oh, this is fucking good. You know what I mean? It wouldn't change. It's fucking Auschwitz. You know what I mean? Like, this is horrible.
I get that.
Yeah, no. Not only do you get that, but I'm relating to your point. Like, that's where we live to where, like, yeah, you could do good things at the same time that you're doing bad things.
Here's one more thing that I will throw into the discussion, and I'll just leave it where it is. Is it horrible that he did what he did and the Holocaust happened? Yes, 100%. Was there any other catalyst in the history of time since they were outed from the Kingdom of Israel that allowed the Jews to reclaim a country for themselves? You understand what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
So why did Jews have this issue of not having a country?
Wait, repeat what you said. I'm sorry.
I know, but I think it'll add to confusion. So let me just ask this question. Why were the Jews in need of a country? Because the Romans kicked them out of their country.
Okay.
The Romans conquered Israel, the kingdom, the original kingdom. They destroyed Solomon's temple. And then Jesus was born into that world. So if you're a Christian, you have to believe that these things happened, or else none of your story makes sense. Okay. So into this world of they call it diaspora, right? You've heard of the Jewish diaspora.
No, I don't know the word. This is the first time I've heard the word diaspora.
Diaspora is when a group of people has a place where they belong. Yeah. And for whatever reason, they have to split out. Okay, all right. So there's an African American diaspora in America.
All right, that's fine. Let's stick with the Jews.
All right, fine. All right. So look, going back to the Jews, right?
Yeah.
So they had a diaspora problem because the Romans kicked them out of their house, their home. They spent the next 2,000 years, almost, moving from Europe and Africa and Spain and all over the world, but they could never settle. They were always the minority people that were oppressed because they were never a majority people, because the place where they belonged.
Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
All right. The whole time that was happening, all 2,000 years, the Jewish people themselves talked about wanting their own state. They called it Zion. Yeah. Reclaiming Zion, whatever. For whatever reason, they could never get it going. Yeah. It wasn't until after Hitler that it finally happened. So it's like, isn't that weird too? Or isn't there some weird poetic, horribly disgust?
With every, there's consequences to every action. I agree with you.
It's just like, I mean, and this isn't to say that Hitler's good because that happened, but it's like,
there's consequences to every action. I agree with you.
And not everything that happens, even if you're trying to be all bad, you'll never be perfectly bad, because good things are going to happen as a result of your evil actions too.
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. Yeah.
So, anyways, I don't think Hitler's a great person. I think Kanye's fucking stupid for saying this shit, but I can see what he's saying.
I've heard other interviews to where like he feels like for when he first came out against Kim and Reebok and all these or I don't know if it was Adidas and all these companies, that he went about it the wrong way, and so now he's trying to go about it in a more loving way, to where even though Balenciaga, like, they put out this ad that is so like horrendous, that he still wants to put love on it. Like, he wants to say that, do you know what? I love Balenciaga, and I hope that they do the best, and, there's still all this stuff. And he wants to push that even further to where I love the Nazis, you know what I mean? Right. And like, they created the microphone, they created highways, all this stuff. And like, he's just trying to push love. But like, I wouldn't even push it that far. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't even go like that. I get that, the Nazis did a bunch of evil stuff, and I will never, like, I'll die on the hill to where I don't think anybody is like inherently evil. Like, they do things for evil reasons. The same reason why I do everything wrong that I do, like how we were saying, like we push against authority, like, and to a fault, and we do it for good reasons and within ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, hey, like, you know, I don't know, something like happened to me, and I'm just trying to push back against it. You know, I'm trying to fight the evil. I'm trying to, like, whenever you experience bullies in life, maybe they've gone through so much hurt that they're trying to fight back against the world that hurt them. You know what I mean? Like, the world is the bully.
Hurt people.
Yeah, the world is evil. The world is hurting me, and I'm trying to fight back again. I'm trying to do what's right. And so, like, I'll die on the hill to where, like, yeah, like, I think Hitler was trying to do what was right. I think he was trying to do what he believed, you know, was good and all this stuff. And so I understand where he was coming from. Obviously, I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't agree with it, you know. Yeah, I don't know. Save me here, JB. What am I trying to say?
I have no idea because I don't understand what Hitler was doing. He was drugged up most of the time.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It should also it should be said he was a meth head.
He was on a forever trip, JB, and that's why he led you know, the Second World War.
For real, dude.
They were a country torn apart, dude. They had a lot of, you know, they dealt with the First World War.
Same thing,
you know,
dude. Like fucking party in the Bahamas and shit just fucking goes up. Shit hits the fucking fan.
Look, what I'm trying to say is I agree with you, and I'm trying to empathize with every single corner of humanity available, because I truly believe, to a fault, I believe that we're all in this together. We're all trying to figure out what's right. We're all trying to, and there's some people who have stronger convictions than others. You know what I mean? There's certain people to where, like, hey, I'm like, not only do I have these feelings, but I feel really strong about these feelings, and I'm going to fight for these feelings, you know, and I'm going to, you know, do what I think is right. And I think Hitler was a product of that, and it doesn't make what he did what was right, you know, but, you know, I get it. That's all I'm trying to say. So I'm not totally, you know, Team Kanye, but I get what he was trying to say. I disagree with Kanye, you know, but
it's more of like a Buddhist, like a mentality.
I'm not a Buddhist, and speaking to the microphone.
No, but I'm just saying, like, to me, that's what it feels like. Like Kanye's just trying to be more, you know, like philosophical with it, or more like, I don't know. He's supposed to be more spiritual, isn't he? Like,
he's trying to put his love in all areas, and not convict
saying. Like,
too
there
much.
is no hate. Like, he's not hate. You know, like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's not.
I don't know where the fuck he's gonna go.
That's the only rational basis for his argument I can do. Because remember when it was just MAGA, and he tried to do that too, like, you know, it's not about MAGA. I got a hat, you know, MAGA hat. It doesn't matter. And before that, it was the N-word. Remember, he was saying, like, the N-word is just like this ball of yarn that you can play. You just toss back and forth.
Okay.
You know, it doesn't really do anything. It just distracts you because it's just this ball. You just keep. It's good. It's bad. It's good. It's bad. It's okay. It's not okay. And that was from years ago. But I kind of think that he's taken this idea and then, like, taking it all the way to 12.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, what is any sort of division at all? Because it should all just be inclusive, you know? Like, it's... And there's the clip, I don't know if you ever saw it, but he was at the TMZ office, and one of the guys calls him out. He's like, look, I understand that you're an artist and you live in this place where, like, this all makes sense to you, but, like, don't project onto me that I'm a real person. And this is reality, you know. Like real people deal with reality, but we understand that you're on this whole other level, or whatever you want to call it, genius planet, table for one, right? I think that's just what's happening, you know. Like he's gone too far without any sort of major pushback that would keep some sense to him. He's been famous for too long, and really famous for too long, and this is where when you have no consequences in life, this is what happens.
Here's the thing: I could be totally wrong. That the Jews are, I don't believe that there's like this underworld of Jews that are in control of everything. It could be that there's, you know, very powerful, like I work for a company. No. I work for a company. It could be that all of them are Jews. It could be all of them are secular. It could be all of them are Christians. And so, like, yeah, it's the Christians that are taking over. You know what I mean? It's the Christians that are like holding me down and all this stuff. That could be true. It, you know, or it could not be true. But so what Kanye is trying to say is that, like, okay, the Jews are all this, and this is the only part that I disagree with them to, where, like, I don't know if it really is all these Jews, and the fact that and plus the majority of Jews are very non-religious. They're just like that's just the ethnicity, yeah, that they're Jews, but they're not actually practicing Jews. so it could be true that, that they are all Jews and they are, there is this underworld, all this stuff. Or it could just be that he could be wrong. It could just be, like it's his own activity and all this stuff that's causing all this stuff. I don't know. The only point I was trying to make is that, like, I actually agree with him on that. Like, we are supposed to love everyone. We are supposed to like approach life that way. And we're supposed to, because the objective standard from a Christian perspective is not our own. Like, we don't create that objective standard. When I look at you, I hold you accountable to my religious background. You know what I mean? Like to my religious like perspective, to where like, okay, well, where do you stand within this? Like within like the 10 Commandments, for example. Yeah. And so with that, like let's say you fall short. Well, guess what? Like, I fall short too. You know what I mean? Like, if I hate somebody, I'm a murderer. If I look at a woman a certain way, I'm an adulterer. You know what I mean? If I like look up to something, I'm an idolizer. You know what I mean? And I don't realize how far I fall from my own standard that I look at. And that standard is apart from me. Despite that I exist, that standard exists. And so, okay, let me wrap it all around. What I'm trying to say is that I agree with where he's coming from. I don't agree in the way he's communicating it. And I think as humans, we all fall short of that objective standard apart from us.
Right. Do you agree with him that so you ultimately do disagree with him that there isn't one set of people that is dictating the course of our lives, right?
Yeah,
I don't believe
that's where I disagree with him.
I don't believe that's
because
true.
I don't know. Like, is there an underworld of Jews that are like, trying to like control everything?
I think that's like an underworld.
I disagree
of, like,
because I have no idea. I don't know.
But only because you don't know.
Yeah.
Not because you don't think it's possible.
Yeah, it could be possible. Yeah.
Okay. All right. No, that's fair. That's fair. I'm on the same wavelength. It could be possible, but until unequivocal evidence proves otherwise, you just can't make that call.
Yeah. And that's where I am with like every conspiracy theory. Like, yeah, it could be possible. Like, yeah, that could be true. That could happen. And that's where I lie on that spectrum. I lie on that spectrum to where like, yeah, it could be true. And if it comes out that it is true, like Epstein, like to where like, oh, he was convicted and we have all the evidence and we know he did this. Yeah. Like, oh shit, that's crazy. Like, let me look into it. You know what I mean? Like, let me see, like, oh shit, he had this whole underground like sex ring and all this stuff. Like, this is crazy. Like, I'm on that level to where like, I want to see that. I want to like see that conspiracy come to life and all this stuff. But apart from that, like, that's just where I stand. Like, it could be true.
So here's a question. So if you're willing to look into it, like in retrospect, right? Like once the powers that be have deemed, no, this is truly this would happen. It's not alleged anymore, right? Like this is the charge. Is it only after that you're willing to look into it, or can you assess for yourself whether something is fishy or not, and then when it's later confirmed, like that just confirms your bias? Like, you know what I mean?
Look, you're hearing from somebody who likes conspiracy theories. Yeah. I like the fact that the Pizzagate may be true.
Right.
I like the fact that there may be an underground like child pedophile ring or all this. I love conspiracy theories. I like looking at at the same time that I look at all these conspiracy theories, I take it exactly how I said it to her. It could be true.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's healthy because I have a bit of that too, that David Duchovny, like I want to believe.
Yeah.
I want to believe in the UFOs. Don't know that they're there.
Yeah.
But I want to believe.
Yeah.
Right? It's I don't even know why. Like, does it make life cooler? Would it be cooler if it was? You know what I mean? Like, what is this weird deep in that you wanted to be true? That I want, like, where does that come from? Yeah. I don't understand. I don't understand, but it is what it is.
With me, it was always the Loch Ness Monster. I'm obsessed with
it's
like
Bigfoot for me. I think he's out there. I think he's out there.
I'm obsessed with it's probably the same thing with like deep forest, but like I'm obsessed with like the deep sea. I feel like it's so vast and so like largely undiscovered.
You
They're
don't know
like,
what's down there.
every time they get deeper, they find new things. You know what I mean?
You know, they
Like,
found that ocean under the ground.
under the ocean.
There's another ocean that never sees the light of day in our planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how to conceptualize it. You're saying that. I don't even understand.
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, you go in a cave, you go far enough down, there's a whole other ocean.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that I can believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's like One Piece.
Yeah, it's like One Piece. But yeah, no, it's just so true. There's just, if you took in a box and put everything you knew in a box, the space outside of the box is just so much more vast than you'll ever be able to even have things to find that you'd like to put in that box. Yeah. And that's what pisses me off. Like, truly pisses me off.
That angers you?
Yeah, I know, it pisses me off. It's like,
I didn't see
like,
that coming.
do you ever have this thing where like you just get upset at yourself for being imperfect?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Like, it also pisses me off that I'm a limited entity that will only ever know what I know. Or what I could possibly know, right? Because there's known knowns, there's unknown unknowns, and
the known unknowns.
The known unknowns, and so it's the unknown unknowns that when I it pisses me the fuck off.
There are things that we don't know.
No different than the Scott Peterson shit. Like, I would love to just know. You know, just I just want to know.
Dude, I hate thinking about that shit.
That's my point. Like, I hate that, dude. Whenever it becomes apparent, like, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, especially the Scott Peterson guy. I would love to know because there's so much evidence going every other way. Like, I was just so freaking like.
Not everybody thinks about that.
I want to see. I want to see. I want to see what happened.
That's why, like, I always think about when people ask you, like, what if you had a superpower, what would it be? And I always think flight immediately, but you don't, because it gets cold up there, and you could hit a bird and die, like, go unconscious. You could hit a plane. Like, if you really practically, it's actually not that great. And then I think about, like, oh, well, what about, like, reading people's minds?
Yeah.
But then it's probably just a lot of, like, oh, I put my penis in that, and oh, I want that, and, you know, like, it's probably just a lot of sex thoughts. You know, yeah, like, it's probably so stupid, and, like, you wouldn't be able to turn it off, and it would probably drive you crazy if you actually, insane. You know, and so it got this thing, and I don't know the answer, but, like, what is the one good superpower?
There isn't, because
that you could really, like, oh, that was such a good one. I'm
even
lucky.
If you copied yourself, like, say you could clone yourself, you would clone yourself so many times and you wouldn't even know which real you is the real you. So you'd have to start offing yourself.
Yeah, who's to say that the you that you became was the you that you went back to? Like, you know, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, if you really dig into, like, this, like, and it's so stupid. I understand this is stupid, but if you dig into it, superpowers kind of suck. Like, they all have their fucking sucky things about them.
I don't think it that way at all. I think flying would be by far badass.
Would you be able to breathe?
Yeah, like, would you get tired? Would it be like running? You know what I mean? Like,
what happens if you get tired of
What if you can breathe? Would it be badass?
What if you're so high up and you got tired, or you fell asleep at the wheel? So, like,
just same thing if you're running, dude.
You don't know.
What if you get tired when you're running?
That's why, like, you get tired up there.
You could fall. You could trip and fall.
But what I'm trying to say is it's the same thing if you're running. You know, you acclimate yourself, you figure it out. You know, I can't imagine flying ever being a bad thing. If I can't breathe, I'll just fly a little bit. I'll just hover above the skyline.
You go above
the cars. I can breathe above the skyline.
So I understand that. I respect it. Yeah. But then you get into this thing of, like, remember Sky High? Remember that movie where you had the heroes and the sidekick?
Kurt Russell.
Like, you would have a sidekick power. That's a sidekick. I can hover, but I can't fly, but I can hover just above the ground.
No, I'm saying if
sidekick.
If you could fly, you can hover. That's what I'm trying to say.
Can you? I don't know.
Yeah, if you could run, you could definitely walk.
What about, like, super strength?
Yeah.
You would have to, like, eat, like, a lot.
If you can lift a lot, you can lift a little bit. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's the trade-off. Like, you'd have to probably eat, like, an immense load of food.
And, like, what if you had this thing of, like, never feeling satiated? You just never feel full ever again.
And then, like, for one day out of the week, you can't lift anything.
Dude, that would be badass if, like, I could, you know, that super from the boys, the super speed to where, like, I can eat whatever I want and I'm gonna burn it off immediately. That'd be badass, dude.
He's also on drugs too.
Well, he did that to push himself, but like besides
It's like
that,
crack.
The other thing is you could run through the soles of your shoes so quick, taking all those steps. By the end of the day, you need new shoes.
yeah.
You'd have to be rich.
I don't know about super speed because then again, yeah, like you wouldn't be able to control yourself.
But then you'd burn all your damn calories like that, dude.
Well, what if it happens to you like the Flash, where then your atoms just start moving and you start phasing through time and space?
What if anything that we do right now, what if, Julio, what if you bench press 100 pounds and you tear a muscle?
I can do that.
That's what I'm saying. But what if you tear a muscle?
I mean, it's bad luck.
Exactly.
Probably poor stretching.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Either way, this is where my mind goes to these places,
Yeah.
stupid places, and I have fun.
They're not stupid.
Thank you, Mickey.
They're
Like
good.
even if you could like teleport too, like who's to say that you teleport like in the middle of a road and you just get run over?
Or in the middle of a wall, and you're
Yeah,
just
and
fucking.
Or in the middle of somebody, dude, and they just
Yeah.
freaking
Like,
combust.
blow up.
You're like,
you
oh,
wouldn't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry I made you combust.
There's just so many things that could go wrong once you start thinking about it.
I'm sorry I made you bust.
Yeah.
Oh, that would suck.
Busted you.
All right. Well, we totally deviated from Kanye West, but
It's for the best.
yeah, I think. Long story short, I think it's good to relate to other people. Maybe not Hitler so much. Let's keep him out of the conversation for the next 200 years.
Or not.
Oh,
Nazis.
here's last question. I have one more question. Last question on my.
All right. Yeah.
How do you guys feel? Like if you went to a gallery, right, and you looked at all these nice paintings, but then someone told you at the end, like, those are all Hitler's paintings.
I would.
Or
be
what if
disgusted.
you listen to, and here's the other one, because it happens all the time. I'll be listening to Michael, and you have to remember, Michael diddled. It's
Wait, Michael what?
Michael
Michael
Jackson.
Jackson.
Oh, Michael Jackson.
That he diddled, and I'm like, oh man, so now I can't like this. But can I like Little Michael?
No.
Would Little Michael be okay? Because Little Michael didn't do anything. If anything, something bad happened to Little Michael that turned him into Big Michael. Like I'm having just these questions, right? Like, is it okay to enjoy Through the Wire? Or do I have to not listen to My Dark Twisted Fantasy or any Kanye now because he's gone off the deep end? Like, where's the line?
Could I tell you guys something unbelievable, like controversial? This is
What?
probably the most controversial thing I'm going to
Don't
say.
tell me you never heard a Kanye West song.
What?
No, I've heard of Gold
Oh,
Digger.
okay, go for it.
I ain't saying she ain't Gold Digger. All right. No, I'm leaning on, like I said, I don't know. I'm leaning on the side to where I believe Michael Jackson. I'm leaning on the side to where I believe him that he didn't, and most of it is coming from, I don't know. Is that messed up that I'm saying that?
Yeah.
Oh, gee, thanks, JB.
I had, you know what I had?
Yeah.
I had this other one about
just
it,
kidding.
which I know doesn't make me a great person, but I had this other thing where it's like, there's been a lot of diddlers in the history of mankind. Only one of them channeled that into Michael Jackson. Is the talent outweigh the crime? Is there a point at which talent can outweigh the crime? Like if he had to do that to make Thriller, is that okay?
No.
No, I know, but like, but could there be this point at which it's you know what I mean? Like
No.
like
There
Dave
could never be a point where it's okay.
Dave Chappelle made the joke. So it's a Dave Chappelle joke, but it's about Bill Cosby,
Yeah.
where like he sent a lot of black kids to college, paid for them,
Yeah.
and they're productive members of society now. They have families. But the only way he did that is by making money, and the only way he did that
was a superhero.
right. It's that whole thing, that whole bit that he has, where it's like
could've
he
done it
rapes
without
to
raping
save
women.
He rapes to save.
and he and I know it's just this terrible, but like it
I'm
did
not
put
on
that
that at all.
idea in
It
my
was
head
just
of
a
like,
joke that he
it is just a
did,
joke,
yeah.
but you get my point. Like there's something to it where it was like, it's not okay, and there's no amount that makes it okay, but Rock With You's such a good song,
hell?
like.
No, I'm not on that at all.
With you. You're the one who says you don't think he did it. My thing is, I think he
Yeah.
did it, but like I still love the song.
I don't know what those songs are about.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know. I'm not. I'm on the side to where I really, and I'm really relying on what's it called? Corey Feldman and who's the Home Alone?
Corey Haim?
Macaulay Culkin.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Corey Feldman and Macaulay Culkin, to where like they both, they were close to him. They said like, no, he never, never did anything like that.
Well, even the ones that were on that HBO documentary, they said, yeah, he diddled us, but he's a great guy. Yeah. Like, isn't that such a weird? You always hear when people hold on, but like even the Epstein case, whatever. Like you always hear, oh, I hate the person who did it. Like I hate him, ruined my life. And both of the dudes were like, oh, great guy though.
Yeah, he's like he paid for my college.
You know what I mean? Like what do you do? What do you do with that? Where they're like, I mean, it could be Stockholm syndrome, right? Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, maybe.
I'm not on the level to where they complimented Michael. I'm on the level to where they said like, no, he never did anything to me. Like,
right, but you're talking about those two, and I'm talking about the kids that accused them in the documentary that has most people, including myself, thinking that he actually did do it. Yeah. But it's like they have sympathy or empathy for the guy that did it to him. Yeah. It just all makes me feel so weird. These are all feelings I'm talking about.
Those same kids still listen to Michael Jackson.
Yeah, at the end of the day, obviously I don't know, but I don't know. I'm just like, when you're on that level of rich, I do know people come out of the woodworks, you know what I mean? And so the fact that with Corey Feldman and Macaulay Culkin, we know that he liked to hang out with kids that age. And so it opens the door to where like, people could sue him for just hanging out with kids that age, you know what I mean? And it's so easy to, for people to just come up with stuff. I'm not saying that they're lying. I don't know, obviously, but I can imagine that the opportunity's there because of Michael Jackson's like associations that he liked to hang out with little kids, which is weird, but if he did like to hang out with kids that age, then it opens the door for plenty of people to do lawsuits.
Yeah. I mean, Aaron Carter said that he never diddled them, but then Aaron Carter just offed himself.
Yeah.
You can't really make odds or ends of it. Yeah. But that's just where I want to just ask that question and then just kind of be that thing. Because it
Wait, what was the question you asked again?
It was like, is there any instances like that where you will allow the art to live, but then hold the artist responsible for their misgivings? Yeah. Because I could probably find at least one Hitler painting that I think is an accomplished painting, but I obviously don't agree with his politics or how he chose to live his life. Yeah. But the art and the artist, right? So there's a separation, and that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you guys feel on that debate?
Yeah, art. There's a little bit of a separation, just because like I'm like very like traditionalist when it comes to art, to where like if it's good art, it's good art. You know what I mean? Like apart from the person who made it. You know what I mean? Like if I'm able to make a 100% accurate like statue of JB, you can appreciate it, regardless of who I am as a person. It's good art. And so I don't know.
That's what I was saying about the songs, like Michael Jackson. Like I can appreciate and really enjoy the songs. Yeah. But do I have to stifle my enjoyment of this art for the fact that I know, at least in my book, that he did what he did?
Do you know what? I think Bill Cosby is a perfect example to where I do believe he's guilty. If anything, I think he was convicted guilty.
Yeah, he's very much so.
Yeah, and so like I still, it's,
you're gonna still go watch his shows.
No. Here's the thing. Before he was accused of any of this stuff, all this stuff came out, I loved Bill Cosby. I loved the Cosby Show. Mm. I loved him as a person. I thought that his comedy was
I'm a big Cosby fan. I thought that of the show.
I thought his comedy was so awesome. And like I even made it a point. I told Priscilla that one of my goals before I died was I wanted to see him live. Oh, wow. Like I needed to see Cosby live before he died, before I died. And so for all that stuff to come out, it was like a huge bummer. But at the same time, like I love like celebrities getting exposed. Mm. So like this was to where I had to eat my own words, to where like shit, damn it. It was one of the ones that I liked, you know? Yeah. But like, it was hard for me to watch the Cosby Show. But at the same time, like, looking back, I can appreciate, I still like watching the Cosby Show.
So you see.
Yeah, I can separate it. Yeah. Right, no, cool. I'm agree with you. I can separate it. Yeah.
That's all I got.
JB?
Nah, there's like with music, there's people that I won't listen to
because of the person,
because of the things they've done,
like including Michael.
I haven't. He's not on my playlist.
Okay. I was a big Michael Jackson fan. I mean, to the extent that I still can be, I am. But like, you get my point.
Good songs, but
great songs. What can you do about that?
What's one artist that you can't listen to because of what
there's a guy that part-time it's literally like part-time like work or whatever. He had a couple songs, like a couple albums and stuff. Like I was really into his stuff, but then it came out that he was like messing with underage women.
All these freaking people messing with wrong one. All these freaking people messing with underage women, man.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I was trying to get at. I don't even know what effect I was. There you go. I agree. Boo this guy. All right.
But yeah, but it's like after that, it's like, it's just, you know, it's like it sucks, but I'd rather just stay away from it. That's just me though.
No, I agree. No. I can understand that. You know, it took me a long time to watch the Cosby Show again.
Yeah, maybe eventually if it's on TV, like, okay.
Yeah. All right. Any parting words for anybody before we end this?
After this conversation, not that they would have my praise, but good luck tomorrow to the U.S. team. They're playing against the Netherlands. Down with the Dutch. Go USA.
All right. Go USA. All right. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for being a part of the podcast. I'll see you all later. Have a good one. God bless.